used to be the one. I used to be your getaway dreamer. I couldn't get enough, thinking that we would last forever.
How are we? How are we, friends? Make sure everything's up and running. How we doing? Apparently Stream Elements should be working again. We'll find out. We will find out. How is everyone? Oh my lord. Happy Friday. Well, for those of us here in the future, happy Friday. I guess for everyone else, happy Thursday still. How are we doing? See how that goes. Right. So yeah, I put out a vote. Lamplight City was the winner. Still kind of loud. Casually turned down a little bit. Lamplight City was the winner, so I came onto this game due to playing Golden Wake, which was a point and click as well. I did that offline though, but it was done by the same people. Great game. There was actually some like historical fact to it. It was really interesting. Bit of a twist ending, which, you know, always good. I'm doing okay. I did have dinner plans. They got canceled, so I had to do a last minute. I had to create dinner for myself, which I made a chicken roast. Or a roast chicken, which took me a bit of time, which is why I'm still here, like, later than I was planning, but I'm here, so, you know. Yeah, another week done, you know? Another week done, and I survived. And it is absolutely dismal weather. It is raining cats and dogs. Looks like the traffic is finally cleared up. It was bumper to bumper. Everyone was at a standstill. Everyone was using their horn quite aggressively. People, like, turning down my road, like, zooming. I was like, oh my god. You made homemade ramen? Like, the actual noodles? Yeah, you made the actual noodles yourself? Yeah, we haven't had rain in a while, to be fair, so I can't really complain it's raining. Tomorrow apparently is supposed to be really, really bad. I'm like, yeah, well, I'll be inside. I don't need to go to work, it's fine. You made the broth meat, okay. I have to admit, I had a packet ramen the other day, and I've been trying to be healthy, or healthier, in order to lose some weight. Was not successful today, by any means. But last night as well, like, I made myself one of these, like, packet ramens. My body immediately rejected it in pretty... Yeah, the rejection was obvious. It was a fun night. It was a fun night. There was a lot of pausing in my game going on. It was good. So, yeah. So, yeah. I need to try and I have so much weight to lose. I really do need to crack down on like anything bad, but it's hard sometimes as well. Sometimes easy is not necessarily healthy. So anyway, I'm trying. I'm trying. I got some weight to lose. So we'll get there. Yeah, I remember you telling me using the treadmill. See, my problem is I already walk everywhere, Scotsman. I walk a minimum of like 30 minutes a day. Minimum. It's probably closer to... Yeah, you did beat me to it. It's closer to like... It's gotta be like 45 minutes a day. Minimum. But anyway, it's hard. Anyway, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I'll get there. How fast I'm walking depends on two things. Whether I think I'm going to miss my train, and the second thing is whether or not my ankle is playing up or not. I definitely walk faster when my ankle isn't like you know, doing the thing that it does at the moment. But yeah. Alright. But yeah, so we'll see. But hopefully it's working for you, Scotsman. Because, oh my god, it is so hard. Can't I just be, like, skinny? Or not even skinny. I don't even want to be skinny. I just don't want to be fat. It'd be great. I don't want 5 chins. Just want 1 chin. That's it. Just walk around like this. It's fine, right? Anyway. What else is going on? Ooh. Still at the same place. I'm hoping they give me the full-time role. We'll have to see. I'll have to have a discussion with the agency probably in the next couple of weeks, I reckon, before Christmas holidays hits. I know the CEO likes me, so like that's a good start. Yeah. For the rest, there's not much going on. My life is really boring. I have a rental inspection coming up in December. I'm cat sitting again in December. Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. My life is pretty boring. Okay, so in to combat that, we're going to play a video game. We're going to play a exciting detective video game, in fact. Yeah, I got my email a couple of days ago. It's for like mid-December, so, which is fine. I need to clean the house anyway. I have my D&D group coming over on the 1st, so I need the house to be clean by then, pretty much anyway. Also, I'm putting my tree up on the 1st of December, so place needs to be clean before I do that. And then I'll see the tree come down also on the 1st when Watson decides to fly into it. So, good times. So this game should be voiced, which means I don't have to read, which is great. So, I assume we'll get an opening cutscene? See how we go. Do I remember how everything works here? No, I don't have that on at the moment. Alright, well, I'll just have to do without that. Hopefully everything's fine. Oh god, itchy eye. Hold on, please hold. I still have some things I need to set up on my Stream Deck. Not Steam Deck. Stream Deck. But we'll see. Alright. Okay, let's do this. Definitely voiced. Bill, wake up! The carriage is on fire! No, we won't do that.
Wake up, sunshine.
Haven't I told you not to call me that?
What's the matter? Have a rough night?
Bit too much Bollingworth ale is all. That stuff really creeps up on you.
Sorry I couldn't join you, but I was long overdue for a quiet night in with Addie.
That's fine. There'll be plenty of other opportunities. Hell, maybe Adelaide can even join us. It's been ages since she last drank me under the table.
Afraid she mostly sticks to tea these days.
Miles, what exactly is it we're looking into? I may have dozed off during the briefing.
Promising. Promising. He's gonna notice at
Honestly,
some
Bill,
point.
one of these days Snelling's gonna notice.
No, he won't. Why do you think they put him behind a desk? The man couldn't find his own backside with a pair of pliers and a lantern.
Very funny. Anyway, it's a burglary at the Hambrook Flower Shop.
A burglary, eh? How dull. At least we'll have enough time to get a drink afterwards.
You seem awfully certain of that.
I am. In fact, I'd bet the devil my head that we're done within the hour.
Oh, that was a
Well,
bad
the
bet.
devil's gonna be disappointed that his winnings are so meager.
Lol.
Ah, we've arrived. After you, Bill.
If this game is done in an hour, then he's right, but I don't think so. 1844. I couldn't say those places, so I hope you were able to read that. Because I couldn't pronounce them.
Thank you. Keep the change.
So which one am I again? Wait. Oh. Be nice to the horsey. Jeez.
And so, our night of excitement begins.
You more than anyone else should know that there's rarely a dull night in Chumley.
I have a
Chumley.
feeling tonight will be the exception. Until we get to the pub, that is.
Keep
I
your mind on the
would
case,
not.
Bill. Now let's get a move on.
I would not have thought that the way to pronounce that is Chumley. I'm gonna be honest. I would have gotten that wrong. Alright. Actually, I wanted to tweet out that I'm playing this. Give me a second. I forgot to do that. Mainly because the devs have really been pushing it, so I'm like, guys, I'm playing it.
Were you actually going to do anything for them?
Alright. I do not appreciate games that call me out for not doing anything. Rude. Alright, hold on. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay. On Twitch and YouTube. Oh, I can hear a child crying. I hate it. I hate it. Don't like children crying. I actually used to get really triggered by kids crying. It was something to do with my brother, but it doesn't bother me as much now. So obviously the trigger is calmed down a little bit. Who's up for a little Friday night detecting? Oh, thank you for... Whose? Is it whose or who? Whose? 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 Who apostrophe S or who? Like who? S-E. No, anyway. Alright. Apparently I can't spell. I actually was having this conversation the other day. Someone was like, asked me for book recommendations to try and, because she wants to like improve her English, and I was like, I have the worst spelling in the world. I'm also not necessarily the best with words, so I was like, I don't know if you should be asking me. But I gave her book recommendations because I love giving book recommendations, and I didn't even charge her the channel points that I usually do, so. Okay, cool. Alright, sorry about the delay. Let's continue. Alright, so I'm this guy. There's Bill.
Looks like they've had some trouble with vandalism.
Pretty much every business in this part of town has.
That reminds me. I should pick up a bouquet for Addie when we're done here.
Seems like you've been spending more time with me than with her lately. I sure hope she's not the jealous type.
Alright, let's go to the door.
Come on, Bill.
I can look at the trash can later. No, this doesn't look like it was broken into.
Charming little place, isn't it?
Charming, but empty. We need to find the owner.
Always so to the point, Fordham. If ever there was a better time to stop and smell the flowers.
I think I'll leave that to you, Bill.
With my allergies, hardly.
Not too many left. Seems business isn't so bad around here.
Well, you know what they say. There are only 3 certainties in life. Death, taxes, and people taking advantage of sales.
Speaking of which, the Steam Autumn Sale is on at the moment, and that's where I got this beauty. At, was it 40% off? Might have been 40% off. Go check it out. How's that for advertisement?
These prices are pretty reasonable. The place I go in Worcester's clearly robbing me blind.
If you think those are bad, don't go near the flower shops in Lyon.
Bell.
Be right there.
Thank you.
Oh, hello, gentlemen. I must say you caught me by surprise. I was preparing to close soon. May I help you find anything? The flowers in the center display are half price this week, and I have a special on chrysanthemums today. Or perhaps a custom bouquet for the special ladies in your lives?
I have no need myself, but maybe Adelaide would appreciate a little something. Eh, Miles? Those peonies in the corner look nice.
I'm afraid we're not here as customers tonight, ma'am. We'd like to have a word with the proprietor. Is he in?
I see. I'm Cecilia Handbook, and this is my shop. What can I do for you, gentlemen?
Assuming it's a man.
I'm Detective Miles Fordham, and this is my partner, William Legere. We received a report of a burglary at your store.
A report? From whom? I never contacted the police before, and I didn't this time, either.
It was made anonymously. But are you saying this isn't the first time it's happened?
Correct. It's happened 3 times. But considering the police hardly care about the daily muggings and vandalisms around here, I didn't think they would be interested in something so trivial.
Well, we're here now, and we'll do all we can to help you.
We'll have to see about that.
If you wouldn't mind, Mrs. Handbrook, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Very well, Detective.
Oh. Oh, okay, this is a bit different to our conversations.
Have you been in business long?
Yes, I opened this shop 30 years ago, along with my late husband, David. But the past 10 years, I've been running things on my own.
Don't you feel unsafe being here by yourself so late into the night?
Detective, when you've lived in this part of town as long as I have, it takes quite a lot to scare you.
I hate to say it, but she looks like it's like a man, like with longer hair. Like it looks like a very similar model.
Could you give me the details concerning the burglaries?
About 3 weeks ago on Monday, I noticed that my order of Easter lilies was missing. At first, I thought nothing of it. Sometimes certain types of flowers are unavailable or arrive in poor condition. These things happen. Then 2 weeks ago on Wednesday, it happened again. But this time, I noticed something rather odd.
Go on.
When I opened the shop, there were 6 crowns and 10 shillings on the counter.
So someone paid
That's
for them?
exactly the cost of 2 orders of lilies. Last Friday, it happened yet again. The lilies were missing, and there was payment for 1 order on the counter.
It's not really
I believe
a burglary.
that someone has been breaking into my shop after hours, taking the lilies, and leaving money behind.
How unusual.
Oh, clue added. Let's go.
Have you found any evidence of a break-in?
No, the front door is always locked. My assistant Trevor and I are the only ones with the key.
Are there any other points of access to the building?
The upstairs windows, I suppose, but I make sure to keep them locked, and neither of them have been broken.
Would you allow us to have a look upstairs?
Is that really necessary? I was
help.
just about to close up the shop.
Yeah.
It won't take but a moment.
Fine, I suppose you may, but please, don't dally too long.
Oh, I plan on dallying. Oh, there's gonna be so much dallying happening.
Have you noticed any suspicious characters lurking around?
Detective
Gonna
Fordham,
look
this
at
is
everything.
Chumley. You can't throw a stone without hitting a suspicious character. And if you've noticed my window, you'd be aware that stones get thrown around quite a bit in this neighborhood. If you're looking for trouble, You're far more likely to find it out there than in here.
I meant if you'd seen anyone out of the ordinary near your shop.
Only the 2 men from the police who entered it tonight. That is most definitely out of the ordinary.
You mentioned your assistant has the other shop key. What can you tell me about him?
His name is Trevor Hastings, and he has been working for me for the past 10 years.
Oh.
Do you trust him?
Implicitly.
That's a long time
I've
for an
known
assistant.
him for ages, and he has
I
been my
suppose it's
full-time
1844.
assistant since shortly after my husband died.
It's a bit
You're
different.
not suggesting he had anything to do with this, are you?
Not at all. I would like to speak with him, though. Where might I find him?
It's Friday, so he should be on his way back from the docks right now. He'll be bringing my flower order within the hour.
Fantastic.
Good. We'll meet him here then, if that's all right with you.
I suppose I don't really have much of a choice, do I?
Nope. Another objective. Let's go.
So this burglar has been paying for the stolen goods?
So is it
That
really
would appear to be
stolen
the case,
then?
yes. I really don't think this could even be considered a crime. That's one of the reasons I didn't bother reporting it to the police.
And the other reasons?
Oh, I think I've already made those quite clear, Detective.
I think that's all the information I need for now.
All right, Detective.
Is it stolen if it's paid for? Access the casebook at the top of the screen or right click. Right click. Has been burglarized. Will the burglar return or is this investigation just a formality? Current case. Oh, I've got different cases. I've got clues. I got no suspects. I got no documents. This is my current case, though. Wait for Trevor Hastings. Speak to him. Find the point of entry upstairs. Got some...
Mostly a bunch of fertilizer and growth tonics.
Growth tonics, eh?
Plant growth tonics, Bill.
Of course. I knew that.
Oh my god. Alright, let's go upstairs. I'm gonna go check upstairs. You don't mind, right?
Interesting choice of decor in here.
Perhaps it wasn't always used as a storeroom, although I can understand why it would have been converted.
Yeah, it is rather drafty in here.
What's this? Portraits.
A rather distinguished-looking gentleman.
Reminds me of Captain Snelling, if he ever smiled.
A young lady. Perhaps a relation of Mrs. Hanbrook?
I can see the resemblance. Sort of.
Maybe it is her, as a young woman.
I've seen this type of device before. It's a special container for growing plants. Specific temperature and water conditions can be adjusted. Seems to be empty right now, though. And judging by the dust, it hasn't been used in a long time, if ever.
It seems Mrs. Hanbrook isn't too fond of steam tech, or just doesn't understand it.
Okay, we got crates. I'm guessing this is the point of entry. Ah, fire escape.
Interesting. There's a gap between the window and the frame here. No wonder it's so drafty in this room.
That looks like something's in there,
The
though.
window latch. Securely locked. I wonder.
What are you thinking, Fordham?
That it's time for an experiment. I'm going to need a tool, however. Something long and thin should do the trick.
Shouldn't be too hard to find something like that around here.
You're gonna make me find it myself? God. Getting a lot of digging.
Seems
Shelf?
to be the broken pot storage area.
Why not
Okay.
just throw them away, I wonder?
It's likely they're going to be repaired. I noticed some faint cracks in some of the pots downstairs.
Crates?
Unmarked, but if the smell is anything to go by, this is where the flowers are stored when delivered.
I'll keep my distance then.
A pastoral landscape. Definitely nowhere near here.
I've never much understood art, but it would be nice to see a place like that in person.
Don't need to understand art, you just have to like it.
I don't think this window would serve as a viable means of entry.
It's a nice view, though. You
Yeah,
can hardly see
see?
the vomit and manure piles on the street from up here.
Exactly. See? This is why I said to look out the window. Heater?
I would imagine that keeping a consistent temperature in here is important for the flowers.
When do you suppose this contraption was last serviced?
Hard to say. Definitely not recently, if the dust buildup is any indication.
Damn, so she's using a heater to try and heat the place, but this window has a draft. Ugh, the amount of money she'd be losing. So it's just a matter of It's not like I can move things, right? So, like, shelves, portraits.
A rather
Reminds you.
Go find me a tool, Bill. Don't be just standing there. Go find me a tool. Hotspot icons will change when new interactions are available. Oh, hanging plants.
Aha! This hook is exactly what I need. Mrs. Hanbrook, may I borrow this hook for a few minutes? It's crucial to our investigation.
Is that so?
Yes, I promise I'll put it back as soon as I'm done.
Please do, Detective.
So it's gonna change, so I'll be able to tell if I can actually pick something up. Which is good to know. Hey, Beard, how you doing? Wait, so if I go here, how do I use... Oh, okay.
Good. Bill, it's time for our experiment.
And what is this experiment going to be exactly?
Simple. I'm going to see if this hook can get me inside the shop. Rather dark out here.
Watch your step, then. This experiment of yours isn't worth a broken neck.
I'll be fine. Now then, could you please close and lock the window, Bill?
Oh yeah, true. It was Thanksgiving, wasn't it? Do I have to do something? Is it gonna do it? Oh. Hey, there we go.
Well, I'd say this is fairly incontrovertible proof that the building can easily be broken into without arousing suspicion.
Where'd you learn how to do that
Incontrovertible.
You taught me, remember?
Nah. Are you sure it was me?
Another
Positive.
point and
We
click,
were a
I
few pints
know.
in at the
I'm
Angel about
excited.
5 years ago, and you decided I should learn how to pick locks.
What else have I taught you how to do while drunk?
That would be telling.
Lol. He doesn't remember. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. Are you 21 again? Or for the first time? I don't know. Also, Beard, yes, the cats and I are well. The cats are, as usual, menaces. Or at least one of them is. Oh, wow, it is really
Thinking
raining.
about life's great mysteries again, are you?
I was contemplating the rain, Bill. Jesus. With a decade of experience plus a few years. Nice. Yeah, I don't feel 40. Actually, I told my boss the other day, because we were talking about, he was like, I'm trying not to become a grumpy old man, and like trying to like learn new things and da-da, and I went, man, I'm 40 and I'm already a grumpy old man. And he was like, you're 40? I was like, yes. So that was fun. Yeah, not ashamed of it. Hey!
Ah, Trevor.
It's Trevor!
Evening, Cecilia. I've got the order ready to bring in.
Trevor, these are Detectives Fordham and Leger. They say
Leger.
there's been a report about the burglaries, and they're
Hey,
here
Tony.
investigating.
I only did it because I think it's been going on too long. As much as
What?
you want to, we can't handle this
Oh,
ourselves.
he called the police,
We
right?
can
okay.
discuss the matter later. In the meantime, the detective
doing,
would like
darling?
a word with you.
I'll be needing to bring in the flowers first, if that's all right. Otherwise, some hooligan's likely to run off with them.
My partner will keep an eye on your flowers. Bill, would you mind?
Ah, the glamour of police work.
Come on, Bill. Go stand outside.
Now,
You
Mr.
getting there?
Hastings, if I could
40's
ask you a few
not
questions?
that different.
Go on, then.
Although I will be honest, I have 100%. Especially this morning, I noticed I got out of bed and I was like, wow, my entire body hurts from sleeping. That doesn't seem right. But then again, I'm not big on the exercise, and I should be, because that's what they say, right? Like, if you if you keep up your exercise, and by the time you won't have that. But obviously, I do this. Alright, so. You feel younger? I mean, I don't feel 40. I forget sometimes, like, how old I am, and then, like, I make comparisons with friends or whatever. Although apparently there's some suggestion I am going through a bit of a midlife crisis at the moment, so it's a thing, but... Hey, nice! And yes, midlife crises are a real thing. Yeah. Okay.
What can you tell me about the recent burglaries?
Come on, Trevor, tell me.
I wish Cecilia had contacted you a lot sooner. She's a damn fine woman. But sometimes I think she'd rather jump in a rose bush than ask for help. Had to take matters into my own hands. This needs taken care of, and we can't do it on our own, as much as Cecilia would like to. Anyhow, alls I know is someone's been making off with some flowers and leaving money behind. No idea who it could be, how they're getting in, or why they even bother paying. In my day, if you robbed a place, you did it the right way. It's a sad state of affairs when even burglars don't do their jobs correctly.
Do you have much experience with burglary,
Yeah.
Mr. Hastings?
Now, I never said that, Detective.
Have you noticed anyone or anything suspicious around here recently?
Bro.
Nothing but the usual roughnecks, ragamuffins, and drunkards. Like I said, it's a real mystery.
Hey, Stream Elements is back. You need to get another optometrist's opinion? Oh, really? That's annoying. So, yeah, so the people who did this game, they did a Golden Wake and Shardlight. I haven't played Shardlight yet, but I played a Golden Wake off stream, which is actually based in... There's actually some historical fact to the game. It's based in... Oh, I can't remember the year, but it's all, like, about, like, the real estate boom, I think, and there's, like, the gangsters sort of, like, coming into it, and all of this sort of stuff. It's the same people who did that, and I'm pretty sure... I don't know if this one was published by What Jedi Games. Let me check real quick. But I'm pretty sure a Golden Wake was, which is how I found a Golden Wake. Golden Wake, by the way, is currently $2.90 on the... Oh no, they published it themselves. Oh yeah, no, yeah, What Jedi Games is involved in it though. I think that's how I found it. It's all the same people who I love. They do like good indies. Lamplight City. This game is currently $12 on the Steam store. Just as an FYI. This was actually published by someone else apparently. But yeah, same dev. So. Love that. But yeah, I have Shardlight. I haven't played it yet, though, so I'll have to add that to the list.
Could you walk me through the process of your deliveries?
Of course. There's no great science to it. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons, Cecilia gives me her list of flowers to pick up from the wholesalers. I head over to Gascone around sunset when they get their shipment, and I give them her order. They load up the crate, I pay for it, and then I lug it back here.
How long does that take?
Between moving the crate and getting it across the river on the ferry, a couple of hours.
Yeah, it would.
Usually the store's closed by then, so I use my key to get in and leave
My
the
key.
crate inside for Cecilia to open in the morning. That's all there is to it. Told you it wasn't very complicated.
Do you ever leave the crate unattended during that time?
No, sir. Never more than a minute. I may be old, but I got good eyes. I'd see if there were anything amiss. Besides that, I check to make sure the crate is still sealed when I drop it off. I'm not about to let Cecilia down by being careless.
No wonder he's worked here for 10 years.
How long have you been working for Mrs. Hanbrook?
Been
10
about
years.
10 years now, I reckon.
She told us.
I used to help with deliveries now and then when it was her and David, her husband. But after he passed, she offered to make me her assistant. Unfortunate way to get it, but I needed the work.
Yeah, well.
Used to be I had a job at one of the airship yards, but they let me go after I was injured by one of those newfangled steam machines. So the offer came at a good time. Besides that, Cecilia needed looking after, even though she'd never admit it. If I'm being honest, We're both getting a bit long on the tooth. Not sure how much longer we'll be keeping this up, but as long as I'm upright and breathing, I'll be bringing these crates along. Even if it is murder on my back.
I admire your work ethic.
I've got a job to do. Not enough people these days seem to respect that.
Thanks for your time, Mr. Hastings. I'll let you get back to work.
So 1844
Appreciate it, Detective.
is when the steam engines were coming in?
If you don't mind, Detective, I still need to check the crate before I bring it in.
Of course. Thank you again for your help.
I was supposed to return the hook.
Learn anything?
Possibly. I may have an idea.
Ah, you're being cryptic. That's always a good sign.
He has an
And
idea.
if you've got a plan, let's talk about it.
Can I put this back? Yeah. Like the good man that I am.
Oh, thank you, Detective. That's quite decent of you.
I said I would. I remember. Man of your word. Kept your promise. I got an achievement. See? See? I was like, oh, I was supposed to put that back. I remembered, and I did it. Because I'm good like that. Alright, Bill.
Got a minute, Bill?
For you, Miles, I've got 5.
Oh, wow. Alright.
You ever miss living out here, Bill?
About as much as you missed stepping in that pile of horseshit last week.
I was distracted by that story you were telling me about your sister. How's she doing out west, anyway?
Well, she's not in the chum, so fantastic. Living here was about as fun as wearing a vest made of meat to a dogfight. I'm glad we both managed to get out.
Well,
Oh,
there's
by
an
the way,
image.
Miles, you didn't do such a great job of cleaning your shoes.
That would explain all the funny looks I've been getting.
Oh, Lord.
I've heard of honor among thieves, but have you ever known a thief to pay for stolen goods?
But are they
Perhaps
stolen?
conducting normal business is just too boring for him. Do you think he might be doing it for the thrill?
There could be any number of reasons. The best way to find out is to catch the culprit and ask him ourselves.
Is it still illegal if he's paying for it? I guess so, right? Because it's like breaking and entering still. But is it like actually burglary then? Like there's trespassing, but could he actually be charged for taking items if he's paying for it? This is where my confusion's coming in.
Still feeling rough, Bill?
Yes, but I'll feel better once his case is finished and we can go down to the Angel for a pint or 4.
Hair of the dog?
No better medicine.
Yeah, no, I've never been able to do that. Never been able
When's
to
the
do
last time you took any time off?
That's a good question. What year is this again?
that.
I think we've both been working a bit too much lately. Addie's been wanting to go visit her mother in Dixie. Maybe we can all go.
That sounds nice, but I wouldn't want to be a third wheel on a visit to your in-laws. Unless... Would Adelaide's brother be there by any chance?
You're incorrigible, Bill.
It's one of my finer qualities.
What's your impression of dear old Mrs.
In
Hambrook?
1844.
I like her.
Interesting.
Good old-fashioned, tough-as-nails Chumley woman. Reminds me of my mother.
Your mother was never quite so stubborn. Why do you suppose she's so reluctant to accept our help?
It's a chum thing, Miles. You wouldn't understand.
You know who this guy, like, his image reminds me of? Like, if you were to turn this into a movie or a TV show or something, the guy who could play this, he played in Grimm. He was the main character of Grimm. David something? I can't remember his name right now. I swear he looks like so much like him. If you were to make a movie out of this, that's who should play this character. Hey, Crack-a-lackin'. How you doing? What's a crack-a-lackin'?
Any thoughts on Mrs. Hambrook's assistant, Trevor?
Yes, I feel sorry for him.
Oh.
Why? He seems to enjoy his work.
No, it's not that. He's
Yeah.
obviously smitten with Mrs. Hambrook. But she
100%.
won't give him the time of day.
I agree
What?
with that.
You only saw him for a few moments.
No,
How
no.
in the ether did you get that impression?
It's obvious.
The way he looked at her, the way he spoke when he confessed to contacting the police. Shall I go on?
No, that's fine. I see what you mean.
Really, Miles? You'd be surprised what you can learn from people if you just look at them.
Why
Long
bother doing
weekend.
that when I've got you
Nice.
to do it for me?
I don't have any long weekends until, well, I've got my week off in December. For Christmas. When the office closes, it's my next long weekend.
Got any opinions on the upcoming election?
I'll just be glad when it's all over. It seems like the last few months have been nothing but people giving opinions and telling me what to do without a moment's peace.
I know what you mean. I already saw some kids putting up Atwood posters down my street.
I already drew mustaches in all the ones on my street.
Handlebar?
You know me too well.
I always thought of Atwood as more of a Van Dyke type of man myself.
I can see that. Yeah. Well, there's something to do tomorrow.
Right. Based on what we've been told in our experiment, I can
Oh,
only
God.
conclude that our burglar is using the upstairs window to get into the shop.
So
Something in my eye,
what
something
do
in
you
my eye.
propose we do about it?
It's happened repeatedly over the past 3 weeks, on
Oh, God.
one of the delivery nights. Since it has yet to occur this week, and today is Friday, logic dictates it should be tonight.
So we settle in and wait to see if the burglar returns? Catch him in the act?
Exactly. It's our best chance of solving this before the trail goes cold.
I was really looking forward to getting that drink at the Angel tonight, too.
I know, but it's as you said yourself. There'll be plenty of other opportunities. Besides,
God.
forbearance is good for the soul.
Spoken like someone who truly has no idea
Oh,
how
I think
to
I
have
got
any
it.
fun.
I'm sure I'll get the hang
think
of
I
it
got
one of
it.
these days.
I got it. I
Especially
got it.
with
I got
your
it.
expert tutelage.
Okay,
it
let's
was
go
an
have a
eyelash.
chat with Mrs. Hambrook.
Ugh.
I'm sure she'll be delighted to know we're spending the night. Damn, I forgot to bring my deck of cards again.
Being
At least
sneaky.
it's quiet up here. I'm surprised we didn't go deaf after the last time we did this.
What?
I said, oh, right. Your sense of humor remains on point.
Miles, have you ever considered leaving all this behind?
What, you mean quitting the force?
The force, the city, going off and seeing what else is out there, you know?
I'd miss it too much. Wouldn't you?
Why do
was
I
thinking might
worry
visit Harley out
something's
west.
gonna happen to
She makes
Bill?
it sound like a dream in her letters. Wide open spaces, fresh air. I know I'm a city boy and would probably miss New Britannia's filth and squalor after a week.
Why do I
but
feel like something's
You
gonna
should
happen
do it.
to Bill?
Change of scenery never hurt anyone. Plus, it's much easier for you than it is for me. I've got a family to consider, after all.
Ah, right.
Oh, no, I didn't mean it like that, Bill. It's just...
Shh. I think I heard something.
I'm suddenly worried for Bill. Oh.
Oh, no.
Bill?
Oh,
Stop!
God.
Police!
Damn it. He's got up the fire escape. We can corner him on the roof. Stay close and keep me covered.
No, Bill. Bill, come back. Oh, God, Bill, no. Bill, no.
Bill!
Stay
Yeah,
back, officer.
why did I know?
Ready your pistol for him.
But you're too close!
I trust you, Miles. Your
No.
pistol, now!
No.
There's really no need for this, officer. I respect your desire to uphold justice. Mine is more important. If you let me go, I won't come back. And we can all forget this ever happened.
Don't listen to this lunatic, Miles. Take your shot before things get worse.
Oh, God, no.
Look, we've caught you red-handed. Put down the knife, let my partner go, and give yourself up.
No! I'm not going to jail. Do you know what they do to people in there?
Yes, I do. If you cooperate, I'll see if I can get the judge to ease your sentence.
I appreciate your tactics, Fordham, but this really isn't the time.
Do I reason or do I take a shot? I don't want to take the shot. I feel like I'm gonna shoot Bill.
Come on, all you've really done is taken some flowers. You're not a killer. Don't make things worse for yourself.
You don't know anything about me. But one thing's for sure. I'm not going to jail. So let me go free, or else your partner is going over the side.
Fordham, this madman clearly can't be reasoned with. Take your shot, now!
Oh, I can let the burglar go? I can let the burglar go? I can let the burglar go. I can let him go because then I don't shoot and accidentally shoot Bill. Right? Surely that's better? I think we just go, okay, I will catch up with him. We're gonna let him go.
Okay, we'll look the other way just this once. Just let my partner go.
Fordham, are you insane?
Bill, don't!
No! Bill!
Bill! Bill! Oh, God! I am so sorry, my friend.
Oh no.
I am so sorry.
Okay, well, I hate this game. 3 months later. Yeah, I bet you anything I would have ended up hitting Bill.
Wake up, sunshine.
I thought that's what I called you.
What's the matter? Have a rough night?
Overdid it on the soporific.
Bill still around?
Why do I feel like I've had this conversation before?
I'm just glad you're in the mood to converse again. Seriously, you took so much of that snake oil last night, I was starting to think you wanted me quiet for good.
He's in my head.
It's no personal slight. I just need some quiet time, or I'll go insane.
Yeah.
I get it. We all need our space. I know it's not easy, but there's really no need.
Not easy. Bill, I've been hearing your voice since you died. You don't shut up unless I take that accursed medicine. I'd say that qualifies as a bit more than not easy.
Yeah, well, how do you think I feel? You think I enjoy being trapped here, listening to you whine about how hard your life's become? You at least still have yours.
If you're just as miserable, why don't you just go away and leave me in peace?
Believe me, I wish I knew how. But the bottom fact is, you're stuck with me. So you can either keep living this way and ruin your life even more than you already have, or you can do as I've told you and try to figure out a way to let me move on.
Okay, so this game is actually from 2018. It's not as far back as I thought. I just wanted to check and see, because I thought I recognized the voices. But no, I don't. It's not who I thought it was. Oh, but Abe Goldfarb is in this! So there you go. I love that. You can tell, like, that's how you can tell it's the same people. I love that. That's great.
Right. For the 1000th time, you want me to find the burglar from the flower shop.
Yes, exactly.
I still don't get how that's going to help.
I've told you several times, although to be fair, if you actually listened to me, I'd still be alive. At any rate, you wouldn't have been in that situation in the first place if not for him. Once the criminal has been caught and is in custody, we'll both get what we want.
There's no way if I had taken that shot that, like, it would have ended up well for me.
A decent night's sleep?
More than that, you'll have that elusive thing you always wanted to give others. Closure.
You do realize the trail's pretty much frozen at this point. Our man has seemingly vanished into the ether.
That's no excuse not to keep trying. I know the cases Upton's been giving you these past few months haven't been the most thrilling, but they've at least kept you active. So just keep at it. Something has to turn up eventually. Unless, of course, you want to wind up in Riverview Asylum. And if that happens, I'm really not going to keep quiet.
Uh-oh.
Fine.
Good man. Now, I suggest you stop talking to thin air, or Adelaide's gonna start wondering if you've gone mental. Or just maybe, she'll stop wondering.
Very funny.
Alright.
I always like that self-portrait of Adelaide's mother, even if the eyes do always follow you around the room. Wouldn't you say it's time for a change of clothes, Miles? You've been wearing that coat for who knows how long.
So? Addie gave it to me. Besides, it gives me character.
Right. Brooding detective in a long black coat. That's never been seen before.
What are you talking about, Bill?
Never mind. Adelaide's last performance. She could really bring the house down. That poster brings back some memories. That's from around the time you two met, isn't it?
Yes, back when Addie was singing at the Angel.
Oh, she's a singer.
Remember before you started taking that medicine and you could actually read a book for more than 10 minutes before falling asleep? You were a lot more fun to talk to back then.
Okay. Sadness. I mean, at least Bill's still around, I guess, but
Well, look who's awake. Ready to rejoin the living?
Very much so.
You were talking in your sleep again.
Did I say anything interesting?
Do you ever?
You have to admit, she's got you there.
How are you feeling?
A touch groggy. I think I took a bit too much of the soporific last night.
That's what I thought. When you went for your after-lunch nap, you'd barely gotten breakfast down. I saved you some bread and cheese if you're hungry.
Thank you, but I haven't got much of an appetite.
You really should regulate your doses more carefully, love. I'm sure dull senses and an empty stomach aren't much help to your work. By the way, a message arrived via courier for you this morning. I put it on the table along with today's newspaper.
Thank you, dear.
An 1844 mixed-race marriage?
You remember how much time Adelaide had to spend convincing you to sit for this? At least these days, with ferrotype tech advancing the way it is, these portraits can be done in just a matter of minutes. How are your parents doing these days? It's been ages since you wrote them.
Let's see what the newspaper has to say. Oh. Remembering the HMS Ligera? This Tuesday marks a 3-month anniversary of the tragic crash of the HMS Ligera. Ligea was preparing to make its second transatlantic voyage when disaster struck. The airship burst into flames shortly after departing for England, crashing into Foster Park. All 300 passengers on board, including His Royal Highness Prince Harold, were killed, as were 54 bystanders in the park. Holy shit. Royal Maverick Lines conducted an investigation and ruled the crash an accident, citing the ignition of a gas leak. Despite this, rumors of sabotage persist. Royal Maverick vowed to install stricter safety regulations going forward, and that the Ligeria's sister ship, the HMS Lenore, would be extremely safe upon its completion. There has been public outcry and protests. Gascon Grand Dame dies. Madame Laura Dupree, age 44, died on Saturday of apparent natural causes. At 44? Born Laura Chesterton in London in 1800, she and her family moved to New Britannia in 1804. In 1818, she married Colonel Andrew Shepherd, a royal officer 30 years her senior. The marriage lasted 1 year, ending with Shepherd's death during a trip to Piedmont. Shortly after, Dupree married Benjamin Montgomery, a doctor. They had 2 children, Juliet and Andrew. Sadly, Benjamin died of tuberculosis in 1830. 5 years later, Laura married Jean Dupree, a banker. Dupree was known throughout the community as a great humanitarian for her policy of exclusively employing humans rather than using automated service machines in her manor. There you go. Second bizarre murder baffles police. New Britannia police are investigating a murder in... How am I supposed to say this again? Chumundry? Chumdry? Similar to one which occurred in that borough just last month. Though many details are confidential at this time, we are able to confirm that both victims have been male and died from gunshot wounds. New Britannia police declined to reveal any further details and denied rumors that the murders are being committed by a serial killer. We have no reason to believe that these murders are related, said Chief of Police Reginald Snelling. We have our finest detectives on the case and hope to find whoever perpetrated these awful crimes very soon. In the meantime, we ask the citizens of New Britannia, especially those in Chum, to remain vigilant and report any and all suspicious activity immediately to a police officer. Boredom. A big case has come in which I think will interest you. Meet me at the Rouen Coffee House for more details.
Upton says she's got a big case for me.
Does she go into any more detail than that?
No,
Murders?
but then you know Upton. Always on a need-to-know basis. Especially since she's been giving me these cases under the table.
To be fair, they haven't exactly been anything of note.
True, but she's still sticking her neck out for me. I can understand why she's so secretive about it.
I think she just misses having you around the station.
Poor Connie. With you quitting and me dying, she must be bored stiff at work.
Oh, he's
Anyway,
actually
I'm
quit.
supposed to meet
Okay.
her at the Ruin Coffee House. That can't be right.
It's not like Constance to make mistakes. She must have gotten in somehow.
Guess I'll head over there and see what she's got then.
So he's quit the police force.
Your book collection has always astonished me. Heaven help you if you ever decide to move.
Feels.
Adelaide's father certainly had an amazing life. Imagine being the personal barber to the Prime Minister and his family. The gossip and secrets he must have heard. Building those model ships was a good way to pass the time between cases. Hopefully it'll be a while before you get enough time to build another one. Bollingworth Ale, my favorite! And a nice souvenir from the Angel. You really ought to go back there someday.
It's kind of nice. So they've made Bill our narrator, I guess, rather than him like speaking the thoughts. It's like Bill is our narrator. I like that idea. I mean, I don't like
the Havisham case. Our first time out as partners.
I don't like that Bill died.
First in a long line of successful cases.
Very upsetting.
Nice to have a memory of the good old days. I'd love to see the look on Snelling's face if he ever found out you kept your old truncheon. It's been so long since you used that desk. Did you even notice when Adelaide got rid of the chair?
All right.
I shouldn't be gone too long.
Goodbye, dear. Love you.
Love you too.
Ooh, I love maps. I'm still confused where this is. Here's the Atlantic Ocean. New Britannia. I don't even know where this is. You know that? It's got to be part of the States. Sorry, it's like behind my head. New Britannia. But yeah, I have no idea where it is.
Ah, the Rouen Coffee House. Worst Java in Lamplight City, but there's no better place to overhear all the rumors and gossip in town. Just make sure you don't get too close to the other patrons. Discretion was never your forte. Self-Portrait as a Desperate Man by B. Calvert. A bit like looking in the mirror, isn't it, Miles? Best avoid that one. He looks like he might tip over at any moment. Reminds me of when I was alive. Ah, good times.
Hey, Constance, here we go.
If it isn't my old friend, up to no good.
Hello, Fordham. It's good to see you.
How did you get them to let you in here?
It's rather simple, really. The owner and I have an understanding. He pretends women are allowed in coffee houses, and I don't report his unsavory business practices to Chief Snelling.
Sounds like a good deal.
Women
What
aren't
sort of
allowed in
unsavory
coffee
business
houses?
practices are we talking about?
Oh, we haven't got time to get into that now. But take some advice. Don't order anything that isn't water.
I got your message. What's going on?
It's time for you to join the big boys again, Fordham. Your days of finding lost cats are over.
So stop teasing me and tell me what it is already.
Do you know Madame Laura Dupre?
Oh, interesting. I would have thought it was the murder one, but it's this woman.
Laura Dupre. She's one of those Gascon Grand Dames, isn't she?
That's right. I'm surprised you've heard of her. I didn't think you cared about those types of people.
I read the
I
newspaper.
don't, but Adelaide has several of them as clients. She gets paid to pretend to care about their lives, and I get to hear the sordid details.
Madame Dupre died the day before yesterday. Her funeral was held this morning.
My condolences.
But halfway through the service, the mourners heard a loud knocking coming from inside her coffin.
She wasn't dead?
Apparently not. Nearly interred alive, although her doctor swears she had no pulse. Dupre's son Andrew was quick to suspect foul play. He accused a man named Albert Martin, and the police arrested him.
So where do I come in? Sounds like the case has already been solved.
I strongly suspect that Martin is innocent, especially considering the talk of him having used black magic on Dupre. The police feel they have enough evidence to convict, so they're not bothering to investigate any further. You're going to look into it and see if I'm right, then find the person who was really behind this.
Has Madame Dupre recovered from her ordeal?
I'm afraid not. Apparently she's been catatonic since they pulled her out of the coffin.
I mean,
How unfortunate.
If you'd like to question Mr. Martin,
I would
he's
be.
being held at the Bow Street jail. Or you could take a look around his house. It's at 451 Compton Street in Worcester.
And the Dupre home?
That's at Emmeline and Comtesse, right across from the old Angeline convent. It's also possible you might run into the police during your investigation, since they're technically still on the case.
Thanks for the warning.
Okay.
Was there anything you wanted to talk about before you get started?
Interesting.
Yes,
Yeah.
actually, I had a couple of questions.
Let's hear them then.
How are things going with you?
Work is hectic as usual, and I'm spending my day off in here. But considering my home life is still a shambles, maybe this is the best place to be.
I'm truly sorry about that.
Don't be ridiculous. If it hadn't been for you, I'd still be chained to that philandering bastard. It hasn't been easy, but I'm much better off this way. Trust me. Anyway, work gives me something to focus on. I'm sure you can relate to that.
I like
Yes,
he no
I'm
longer wears
grateful
the
to you
hat,
for getting me these case leads.
and his
I know
hair's
you're
all
taking a
puffy
risk to do
now.
it.
It's the least I can do. How about you? How's Adelaide?
She's fine, although things between us could be improved, if I'm being honest. The less said about it right now, the better, I think.
I'm sorry to hear that. You can talk to me about it if you need to, although I'm probably not the best person to ask for relationship advice.
Don't suppose there have been any developments regarding Bill's murder.
Unfortunately not. The department hasn't exactly been focusing on that case as a priority. The general attitude is that it was an accident. Bill died an honorable death in the line of duty.
How was
Would've
it
been
an
nice if they
accident?
bothered saying that at the funeral.
And of course, there are still those who blame you for his death, Snelling being the first and foremost.
The man who killed him is still out there.
Yes, I know, but it looks like you're on your own if you want to find him. My hands are tied. I can only ask around so much before the higher-ups get suspicious. Just don't give up. New Britannia may be a big city, but the criminal world is surprisingly close-knit. If you find any connections or leads during your other cases, be sure and let me know. I'll do the same if I find anything out.
So I'm gonna have a
See,
couple of
She has a priority straight. You could learn a lot from Upton.
I'm gonna have a couple of different cases which will eventually lead me to Bill's killer.
I wanted to go over the case with you.
Okay, what have you got?
Nothing so far.
What do you know about Madame Dupre?
Only what I've read about her in the paper. She's been married thrice, which I can empathize with, and she's extremely rich, which I can't.
What makes you think this Martin fellow is innocent?
The fact that the only evidence is the word of Dupre's son. I've seen this sort of thing thousands of times, and I'm sure you did too. They're just looking for a scapegoat. You're the only person I know who can put it right.
Upton's intentions are noble, but she has to realize this is just a drop in the ocean.
That's enough about the case for now.
Okay,
That's it, I think.
Alright.
then you'd better get back to it.
Well,
Okie
I'm not
dokie.
entirely sure how this is going to help you find the flower shop burglar, but I suppose freeing an innocent man is a worthy diversion.
Okay, hold on a second. Save. Da 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 da. Poor Bill. Save. Okay, hold on a second. No. Ever so slightly. Okay, give me 2 seconds. I'm really, really sorry. I've been like kind of drinking this nonstop, and I need a bathroom break. It won't be long though. Shan't be long. I will be right back. I also need more water now, because I finished my water. Yeah, cool. Give me 2 seconds. Won't be long. Promise. and back. Alright. And...
Not in much of a hurry to clean up in here, are they?
Alright. Places to go, people to see. That's the jail, Dupree Manor. I think we'll go to where he lives first.
Ah, Compton Street. We're not too far from Restaurant Row. When's the last time you ate, anyway?
Please, let's not add eating to the list of things to nag me about.
Bon Bon's Restaurant. I never got a chance to go there, but I hear their deviled eggs are simply to die for.
I love deviled eggs.
One of Atwood's re-election posters, sorely lacking a mustache. Go on, Miles. Fix this grievous injustice.
Not now, Bill.
Bill.
There are more important things to worry about.
Spoil sport.
Bill, I miss you so much.
I'm sorry, I have no time for visitors today.
I need to speak with you about Albert Martin.
Albert? Are you with the police?
No, I'm a private investigator.
Oh, I don't think you can help. I'm sorry.
Sorry to bother you. I'll be on my way.
Good day to you, sir.
Okay, so I can't go here first.
Glad that Coulson still uses horses. I don't trust the new self-driving cabs.
Well, they shouldn't be self-driving anyway. Should be still someone driving it. Okay, so too early to go there. Let's... Oh yeah, I love deviled eggs. I'm not very good at making them myself. I can make them. And I love putting the caviar on top. So yummy.
Fordham? Is that you? You look like something a cat spat up.
Hello, Giles. It's lovely to see you too.
I like
What
your red
brings
coat.
you around the jail? I thought you'd quit being a detective.
I'm looking to speak with Mr. Albert Martin.
Oh, I see. Well, that's him in the first cell there.
Yeah, you put
I'd
a little
say
bit of
what needs
caviar on
saying
top
as
of the
quick
deviled
as
eggs.
you can, though. He's headed for the gallows in the morning.
Holy
What?
shit.
Already? But what about a trial?
No trial necessary when there's black magic involved. This little half-breed's already sealed his fate.
Such a charming fellow, isn't he?
Albert, we need to do
Mr.
this.
Martin?
Who are you? My lawyer?
No, I'm actually here to help you. The name's Miles Fordham. I'm a private
My
investigator.
lawyer? No, I'm here to help you.
How are you going to help me?
I'm looking into the attack on Madame Dupre. I believe you're innocent.
Oh, thank heaven. That's music to my ears.
Would you mind answering a few questions for me?
We gotta move fast,
Friend,
buddy.
if it means saving me from the noose, I'll tell you nothing less than God's truth.
Interesting choice of phrase for someone accused of using black magic.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
What's to tell? She's a twisted, evil woman who got what was coming to her. Whoever attacked her deserves some sort of reward for the service they're doing the community.
Damn.
So it wasn't you then?
No, I'm innocent, Mr. Fordham. You have to believe me.
I'm afraid you're not making that very easy right now, Mr. Martin. Do you know anything about the circumstances of Madame Dupre's supposed death?
No, I had nothing to do with it.
But he
Then why
hates
did
her,
her son
obviously.
accuse you?
Probably because he's just as ignorant as she is.
What I meant was, how did her son know to accuse you? Have you had any contact with the family before?
Yes, you could say that.
Uh-oh. That gleam in his eye says it all.
You see, I'm involved with Dupre's daughter, Juliette Montgomery. And Dupre doesn't like that one bit. She even threatened me once.
Is that right?
Yes, she might have everyone else fooled, but that woman is the devil incarnate. I can't understand how something so heartless and cruel could have spawned someone as pure and, loving as my dear Juliette.
Are
He's
you
not
Romeo?
really helping his case much, is he?
How did you end up in here?
I was just minding my own business at home when the police showed up with no warning. They made some outrageous claims about me putting some sort of curse on Madame Dupre. The next thing I knew, I was here. Oh, Mama must be beside herself with worry. I just hope she's all right.
Tell me about Juliet.
She's wonderful. Such a beautiful, kind soul. She hasn't come to see me yet, but I'm sure that's because of all the confusion in the last few days. Juliet wouldn't believe for a second that I would be capable of harming her mother. I'm sure of it.
How did you two get involved?
We met at the university.
Your classmates?
Hardly. They wouldn't allow someone like me to enroll there. Juliet studies botany. I work as an assistant in the greenhouse. We started talking, and she actually treated me like a person. To everyone else, I was just the boy who fetched the test tubes. But Juliet actually wanted to hear what I had to say. Had the same taste in books and art. Didn't just treat me like some piece of gardening equipment. She even shared some of her notes with me after I told her I was interested in botany as well. From there, things just got better. I don't expect you to understand or approve, but that's how it happened.
Oh, you'd be surprised. It doesn't sound too different to how my wife and I got together. Except I was a detective and she was a singer at a bar.
And she's...
Yes, Mr. Martin. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. How often is Juliet in the greenhouse?
Every weekday, but I doubt she's there now. She's probably trying to find out where I am and working to have me released.
Somehow, I wouldn't bet on that.
Yeah, neither would I. That's what I was saying, 1844, and like this guy's in a mixed race marriage. I'm pretty sure slavery was still a thing in 1844. I might be wrong, but pretty sure it was. Pretty unusual.
What does your mother do, Mr. Martin?
She helps people.
I was hoping you'd be just a bit more specific.
Just a touch.
She provides spiritual help to those who seek guidance.
She's a spiritualist.
Not quite. She's more like...
Voodoo?
How can I explain it? You know how a priest holds mass to spread the word of God to the people? My mother holds services and calls on the spirits to walk among us, providing healing and guidance.
So she's a religious leader?
If you want to give her that title, it would be the most appropriate.
And does this religion of yours have a name?
Voodoo?
You'd probably know it as voodoo, but it doesn't mean what you think it does. People are so quick to judge and portray us as evil when they have no idea.
It's funny because I know, like, what's the game? Gabriel Knight has a lot of like voodoo stuff as well, and I even remember TV show or movie, I can't remember now. Voodoo always has this like, it's always showing the dark side, but it's like any religion, right? It's got good and bad, and it can be used for good or bad.
So you practice voodoo, do you?
Are you making fun of me, Mr. Fordham?
No, of course not. Apologies if it seemed as though I was. It's just that the police are convinced that black magic was involved in Madame Dupre's
Why they
apparent
call
death.
it black magic?
That's
is
because
just
that
silly.
idiot son of hers knew about my mother, and like all bigoted fools, assumed that we're involved in devil worship and the black arts. But I can assure you that this is most certainly not the case, Mr. Fordham.
Of course, I didn't mean to imply.
Just forget it.
That's all for now.
Wait, before you go, would you do me a favor? Would you go see my mother at our house and give her a message?
Sure.
You're at 451 Compton Street, right?
I was there earlier. She
Yes,
told me
that's
to go
right.
away.
Could you tell her I said St. Rock's dog is barking?
I suppose I could do that, yes.
Oh, thank you.
Whatever
Seems
happened to a
sus.
simple I love you?
All right. Okay.
I bet that's a direct line to the police department. You should make a rude noise into it when Giles isn't paying attention.
All right. All right, let's go back to Compton Street. Oh, it's like the loudest knock in history.
I told you I have no time for visitors.
You're Albert Martin's mother, aren't you?
Who are you?
Miles Fordham. I spoke with Albert, and he told me to give you a message. He said to tell you that St. Roch's dog is barking.
Oh, I see. That's good. That's very good. You better come in, Mr. Fordham. Standing on the street just won't do.
Okay. Secret code. Secret code.
Welcome to my home, Mr. Fordham. I am Sabine Martin. I hope you understand that Albert has nothing to do with this awful business. Would you care for some tea?
Well, her tune certainly changed when you gave her that message. I wonder what it meant.
No, thank you, ma'am. I won't be staying long.
I love the name Sabine, but it always reminds me of the Three Musketeers.
Interesting. Those pots look as though they've been wrapped in tobacco leaves. That pattern resembles a flower. Too bad it isn't an Easter lily. It's some old man with a dog standing at the center of a crossroads. If that's meant to have any sort of significance, it's completely lost on me. The Virgin Mary. I must admit she was the last person I was expecting to see in here.
Maybe she has it there.
A rather unremarkable book collection, I'm sorry to say. That statue, on the other hand, gives me the willies.
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
Do you think your son is capable of doing what he stands accused of?
Never. Albert wouldn't harm a fly.
That's what the mothers always say.
Why don't you tell me a bit more about him then?
He started working at the university laboratory a few years ago. I was so proud of him.
I recognize this
the university is quite
voice.
selective, you know. The same for its staff as well as its students.
Yes, I've gotten that impression.
I always told Albert to be careful around those high society types, but that one always thinks with his heart first.
Is she
look this up.
sure
Hold on.
that's the correct body part?
He's all the family I have, Mr. Fordham.
What do you know about Juliet, Madame Dupre's daughter?
I know Albert was smitten with her, no matter that I told him to be very careful around her kind. Those rich Creole families don't care much for people like us. To them, we're just a help. But from his telling, Juliet sounded to be a decent soul. It's a shame the same can't be said for her kin.
Do you know anything about Madame Laura Dupre?
I never met her in person, but I know plenty about her.
Like what?
Nothing fit for a polite conversation, Mr. Fordham. But I can tell you this. Laura Dupre has far more enemies than she lets on.
Does that include you or your son?
It most certainly does not.
Interesting. So she's done voices in Wasteland 2, World of Warcraft. Nothing that is catching. So I don't know. It just I don't know. Maybe it just sounds like.
If you'll indulge my curiosity,
Something
what
I
exactly was the
recognize.
meaning of Albert's message?
Saint Roch is the patron saint of dogs, as well as the falsely accused. If he sent the message along with you, it means he trusts you, and that I should too.
Oh, I see.
Perhaps you were hoping for something more? That's just the way of mysteries, isn't it?
How do you mean?
The thrill of the unknown is always more exciting than the truth. Mystery makes life a little more interesting.
True, but if mysteries were really better unsolved, I wouldn't have a job. What exactly is it you do, Mrs. Martin?
I provide services to the public.
A delightfully vague answer if there ever was one. Give me something a bit more specific, please.
I'm a Mambo Asugwe. That means I'm what you call a voodoo queen. I'd give you a detailed explanation of the responsibilities and duties of the role, but your time would be better spent clearing my son's name.
She's got a really interesting voice.
Can you tell me a bit more about your religious practices?
What I can tell you is that the ignorant whites in this city are afraid of us for no reason. Voodoo is not about black magic or dark spells or turning people into the living dead. It's about healing and life. Naturally, there are misguided souls who may try to use it for ill purposes, but I am not one of those.
Sounds like you hit a sore spot. Might be a good idea to stop pressing her on this angle.
To be fair, same can be said for like any religion, including Christianity or whatever.
I think I'll take you up on your offer for tea, after all.
All right, Mr. Fordham. You'll have to give me a few minutes to heat up the kettle. I'll be back shortly.
Oh, am I gonna... I'm looking around.
A rather unremarkable...
What am I doing while she's away?
For all we know, that rider is some sort of demon. He looks like he's having a good time, at least.
Ah, curtain.
Amazing. Even more voodoo stuff back there. Why would she keep these particular items hidden from view?
Good question.
They obviously have some importance to her. I'd suggest asking, but I don't know if that's the best idea given how sensitive she seems to be about the subject.
Yeah, no. Not right now.
The tea should be ready in a few minutes, Mr. Fordham. You can help yourself once it's done.
You're very kind, Mrs. Martin.
So can I go over here then?
I'm afraid that room is private, Mr. Fordham. I must respectfully ask you to not go in there.
Of course. My apologies.
Alright, well, I guess I will just leave
I've
for
got
the
a few
moment.
questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
Because I don't really
I'll
want
try
to ask
answer
her.
them the best I can.
Can I...
Thank you for your help.
My pleasure.
I'm not going to ask her about that right now. I probably will have to.
Aren't you going to have your tea, Mr. Fordham?
I'm afraid I just remembered something important I need to look into. Perhaps later.
Suit yourself.
I'll come back later. I probably need to ask you a question. It's a university. Let's go to the Dupree Manor.
You are aware this is private property, sir?
Yes.
Yes, I'm Miles Fordham, private investigator. I'm looking into the incident involving Madame Dupre. I assume this is she?
You assume correctly, Mr. Fordham. My apologies, but I thought the police had already made an arrest.
That's right, but there's still some doubt as to the man's guilt. May I ask your name, sir?
I am Dr. Fellows, Madame Dupre's private physician. I'm afraid she is in no state to be answering questions at present.
Are any other members of the family home?
Her son, Mr. Montgomery, is in the entrance hall. I had to give him a mild sedative to settle his nerves, but he should be all right to converse.
Then if you don't mind, I'll have a look around.
Her eyes are glazed over, and she's got a vacant, expressionless stare. She seems completely oblivious to her surroundings. If we didn't know she'd been buried alive, I'd say she was just exhibiting the typical symptoms of your average rich person. This fountain probably looked nicer when it was working, but right now it's just a breeding ground for mosquitoes.
No, that's the worst.
This fountain... With her vast sums of wealth, Madame Dupre could probably feed a starving family for the next 30 years. Instead, she uses the money to keep her hedges trimmed.
Right.
Oh, hello. Are you the new servant?
No, I'm Miles Fordham.
Oh my
I'm a
God.
private investigator looking into your mother's attempted murder.
How did you know I was her son? Oh, of course. You must have sensed it with your detective's intuition. I should have guessed by that giant head of yours.
Are you feeling all right, Mr. Montgomery?
No, he's not.
Yes, I'm fine. Much better than when those pesky police officers were snooping around earlier.
Bro
But
is
I
not
like you,
okay.
Mr. Fordham. I can already tell you're not like them. Not like them at all. Please, call me Andrew.
Yes. Well, I'll have a look around, and I may need to ask you some questions. Do you think you can handle that?
I can. In fact, I really look forward to it.
If the good doctor gave him a mild sedative, I'd hate to see what the stuff you take would have done to him.
Is this Abe? Sorry, I have to check. You understand. It's important. This is important information that I'm gathering here. Where is he? Andrew Montgomery. Yeah. This is Abe Goldfarb. So the guy that is my follow alert, the voice that is my follow alert that says "Hello, Bright Eyes," same voice actor as this guy.
Dupre looks like she's holding on to that poor bastard for dear life. What a beautiful parrot. Must have cost the Dupre's a cool copper. Do you suppose that's for the bird? Or perhaps so the Dupre family members can get a good look at themselves on the way out of the house?
Seems too high for the bird.
Who's a pretty bird?
Ray's a pretty bird.
Polly want a cracker?
No, thank you.
Pieces of 8?
Hi, matey.
So long,
funny.
Birdie.
Rock! Bye-bye!
I don't know who did the bird, but that's funny. That makes me chuckle. To the kitchen, upstairs. I'm just gonna have a look around. I'll come back to you later. We'll be back, Abe. Don't worry.
Certainly no shortage of bowls or food preparation items around here. Yeah, it looks like gumbo's on the menu tonight. I wonder how it compares with Upton's special recipe.
Gumbo. Yum.
Pardon me, miss.
What? Who are you?
I'm Miles Fordham. I'm investigating the attempted murder of Madame Dupre.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but I'm very busy. I can't help you.
So this must be New Orleans before it was New Orleans. Was this called New Britannia initially?
Do you know anything about what happened to Madame Dupre?
No, I don't. Please leave me to my work. I shouldn't be talking to you.
All right, I'm going.
Judging by the amount of food this family probably eats, washing the dishes must take forever. It's times like these make me wish I could still eat.
Aw, Bill.
Some kind of water dispensing device, maybe? I was never very good at finding my way around the kitchen.
Alright. We have to find Juliet as well.
A horrible little porcelain figurine. Madame Dupre didn't strike me as the type to play with dolls.
Yeah, that's creepy looking. Doorway, flowers.
Nice bouquet of roses. Although it would make things much easier if they were Easter lilies.
If only.
I'm assuming Easter lilies are the flowers that were being stolen by the dude that killed Bill.
The Gascon docks. The artist definitely took some liberties. You can't see a single person getting stabbed.
Oh.
Goodness, someone went overboard with the flowers. This brings back some memories, doesn't it?
Ones I'd rather forget.
Yeah, poor Bill. That still upsets me. I'm not sure you realize how much
A
it
gentle
upsets me.
reminder that everyone's time is slowly running out.
These should be useful.
I'm just casually taking tweezers. Great, cool.
The science of pharmacology. Yeah, I'm sure it's riveting stuff. Dr.
Vigor.
Tennyson's Vigor Pills. These would make a sloth act like a hummingbird.
Oh God. Okay.
I can only wonder what sort of potions Andrew concocts in this thing. What in the ether is that thing supposed to be? Actually, I'd rather not know.
Leeches.
Is this really the best that medical science has to offer? Decadent. Decadent.
Indeed. Okay.
Oh, look! It's one of those new audio cylindergraphs. I can't quite wrap my head around how they can manage to get sound out of a wax cylinder. I don't know much about art, but I see Madame Dupre and I at least have similar tastes.
Oh. Oh God, it's gonna make me play the piano. I don't remember my piano lessons well enough to know how to do that, so we'll come back to that. Been a long time since I took piano lessons. Well, actually, technically it was keyboard. I love we're just literally walking around this house. Just
I've never
like...
seen so many beauty products together in one place. Doesn't look like they get used much, though. Juliet really likes plants and flowers, doesn't she?
Locked. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised.
Nice little cottage. Looks like it would make a nice cozy spot to retire. If I hadn't already retired from life, that is.
Let's have a look through these papers.
Yeah,
What's
casually.
this?
Dear Miss Montgomery, unfortunately I've been informed of a series of burglaries in the neighborhood near the room you're renting from me at 76 Forest Lane. As a precaution, I've gone ahead and changed the locks. Please find enclosed a copy of your new key. I hope this doesn't cause you too much of an inconvenience.
So, Juliet is renting a room in the Chum. That's certainly interesting.
Yes, it is.
Can't wait to see what sort of dirty secrets she's got hidden away in there.
Interesting.
They're all empty. How unusual.
Not to mention disappointing. Well, someone's fancy. I never liked these types of beds much. They feel too claustrophobic.
I always thought they had a certain appeal myself.
Yes, you would think that about a bed that lets you shut out the rest of the world.
Oh yeah, see, I would never draw the blinds on a bed like this. I like the idea of a canopy bed, but not necessarily one where you draw the blinds, because I like waking up to sunshine, which is how you know I'm a morning person.
A much younger Madame Dupre. I suppose that's a nice alternative to a mirror. That's an old uniform, from the turn of the century by the look of it.
Was
this
it?
Must be Madame Dupre's first husband.
Yeah, first husband.
Kind of strange that she'd still keep his portrait in the bedroom. Ooh, a fainting couch. You know, I always wanted one of these, but I never fainted enough to justify buying one.
Is that what it's called? A fainting couch? Oh. The Parson of Crook Hall. Convent of the Damned and Other Short Stories. The Chestertons, A Brief History. Choice and Consequence. Equestrian Mannerisms. Buffalo Skinner, A Wild Man's Tale.
Now that one sounds interesting. I was always a fan of Bedletter's short stories. One of those melodramatic romances. I read it a while back and I couldn't tell you a thing about it. Doesn't appear to be very brief if there's 2 volumes of it. I wonder if anyone outside the family would find this even remotely interesting.
Yeah, it's not like a super long time frame either.
Choice and Consequence. Who in their right mind would write a book about that? I don't even want to know what that one's about.
Robin
I read that
Morris.
one last year. If you ever wanted to know the intimate details of a buffalo's anatomy, I highly recommend it.
Nah, I'm alright, thanks. What's this book?
Seems Madame Dupre fancies herself a poet.
To dream, O Morpheus, caress my cheek, bring forth the soothing visions, give me strength when I am weak, allow me some provisions. In your domain, I am as a queen, controlling all I see and hear. I've traveled places I've never been, and know not the main meaning of fear. Laura Dupree. The Dove. The dove is pure, serene, and pale, a glowing angel in the sparkling sky, its gentle coos unlike the wail of the cursed crow that will not die. Protect the dove from grim defeat, let it remain in gentle flight, for when the crow's allowed to eat, it covers the world in eternal night.
Well, that was life-changing.
For once in my life, I'm completely speechless.
Then perhaps I should take this with me and read it more often. Nah.
What's his
It would
note?
appear that Madame Dupre was taking music lessons.
Don't quit your
Her
day
current
job.
predicament has probably put an end to that venture, though.
Oh, I need to write this down. Hold on. Da, 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 da. I don't actually need this here, so I'm gonna move this. Move this out of the way. Oh, okay. Oh, no, I don't need this. This just tells me the notes. It's not necessarily... I know this already. Do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do. Alright, I'll write it down anyway, just in case. Let's make a scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's been a long time since I had to read music as well, Jesus. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Here. Here. So wait. Is that right? Yeah, okay. So do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re. Do. Okay. Do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do. Okay.
You've got some huge bags under your eyes, Miles. Reminds me of the case we had on that strange train.
Don't remind me.
Okay. Alright. So definitely something to do with that piano. Unsure what yet, though. I guess we'll figure it out after. We'll go back downstairs. Alright, Abe. Let's go.
I have some questions for you.
Oh, goody.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
She came back from the dead. I couldn't believe it. My mother, resurrected, just like Jesus.
Yes. I heard you're the one who accused Mr. Martin of the crime.
Very unlike his other
no,
voice.
I already talked to the police about that. I don't want to think about it right now.
How do you typically spend your days, Mr. Montgomery? What are your interests?
Oh, a little of this and a little of that. Nothing as exciting as what you do, I'm sure. Ooh, tell me, do most bad people start crying when you catch them? I'll bet it's a laugh riot to see them sobbing away.
No, Mr. Montgomery, most of them don't.
Well, that's a real shame, isn't it?
Wow. Again, the guy in my follow alerts, the guy who's my follow alert, is the same voice. Very different.
What can you tell me about your sister, Juliet?
I'm reminded of a famous quote, Mr. Fordham. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Let us part on good terms and avoid the subject altogether, please.
Okay.
That's a rather exotic bird you've got.
I like looking at him. He has such pretty colors, doesn't he?
That he does.
You know, I've always wondered what he might taste like. Is that bad, do you think?
Yes.
I really couldn't say, Mr. Montgomery.
It's bad.
Thanks for your time.
No, thank you for yours.
This is ridiculous. He won't be of any use in this state. If it takes him as long to snap out of it as it takes you, we'll be waiting around here until noontime tomorrow. There has to be a way to bring him back to his senses. Maybe that quack outside knows something of use.
Okay. Alright, let's talk to the doctor.
Doctor, may I ask you a few questions?
Please be my guest.
Thanks.
Tell me about Madame Dupre.
She is a great woman and a pillar of the community. I
So
cannot
not what I've
imagine why
heard yet.
something like this could happen to her, or how someone could be capable of such a barbaric feat. Though this ordeal has been terrible, I am confident she will overcome. The power of her physical constitution is surpassed only by her strength of character.
Sure,
Do you think he'd say the same things if he wasn't on her payroll? I highly doubt it.
What were the circumstances surrounding Madame Dupre's supposed death?
Her son, Andrew, sent for me a few days ago after finding her unconscious and unresponsive. As I was unable to detect a pulse or breath, I had no other recourse but to declare her deceased. I judged that Madame Dupre had likely suffered a sudden cardiac arrest. It was most shocking to be proven wrong at a funeral.
I can imagine. Where was the funeral held, by the way?
St. Denis Cemetery. Madame Dupre wished to be interred in the tomb of her father's family, name of Chesterton.
Perhaps I'll go have a look.
Okay.
May I ask exactly what kind of sedative you gave Andrew?
A simple tincture of laudanum. It's what I give all my nervous patients.
He seems a bit out of sorts.
Hot? Meat kettle.
It can have that effect, but it usually wears off in half a day or so.
Is there a way to bring him out of his condition sooner?
A stimulant would have the opposite effect, but I wouldn't recommend mixing the two. It could have potentially harmful effects on his heart.
Uppers and downers.
Of course. I wasn't planning on doing anything of the sort. I was just curious.
We are
It's
absolutely
cute how you
doing
act
that.
like you have no experience in these matters. It's almost convincing.
Bill, I love you. I want you to come back.
How long have you been Madame Dupre's private physician?
5 years, and I've been practicing medicine for the past 30. I still spend a couple of days a week treating patients at Riverview Asylum.
Oh, good. Maybe if you're lucky, he could be your doctor someday.
30 years is quite a long time. You must have seen some incredible advances in the field of medicine.
Welcome
I
back.
have, yes. I can only wonder how things will change with all this talk of ethericity.
Caviar is
There's
delicious.
speculation
I
it can
love
be used
caviar.
to restore necrotic tissue and instantly heal broken bones, among other things. If you
Nothing
ask
can
me,
do that.
A good bloodletting will never go out of fashion.
Yes, it will. I don't know where you were up to when you had to duck out. I don't know where we were up to in the game.
Did you examine Madame Dupre after she reanimated?
Of course. Physically, she appeared to be in fine health aside from minor dehydration. I found no marks or bruising on her body. Mentally is a different story, however. She's remained in an unresponsive state ever since.
Do you have any
Like over
opinions
an
on
hour
what
ago,
caused
okay.
Madame Dupre to appear dead?
The most likely cause I can imagine is some sort of poison or toxin.
Our partner died. Bill's dead. So Bill's voice, he's just in our heads now. He's just a voice in our heads.
What leads you to believe Madame Dupre was poisoned?
The
Very
symptoms she experienced
I'm
were
very
consistent
upset.
with prior cases of poisoning I've studied. And didn't the young man arrested have ties to some kind of black magic cult? There have been reported cases of these practitioners using poisons to make people appear dead, then commanding them to
Oh
do
my
their
God.
bidding.
No.
I recall reading about a man in the West Indies who was given tetrodotoxin, that's the toxic secretion from a pufferfish, declared dead and buried. He appeared alive in his village some 20 years later.
Oh my God.
Doesn't that seem a bit far-fetched to you, Doctor?
Facts are facts, Mr. Fordham. Surely someone in your line of work can appreciate that.
Those are all the questions I've got for now.
I hope I answered them adequately.
So we're looking a bit rougher since our partner died. What do we got here? Hey, kick-ass, enjoy your lurk. How'd he die? Wait, how did our partner die? We were staking out the flower shop, and the burglar who's been like taking the flowers and paying for them, he rocked up, but Bill sneezed, and so the guy like took off, and so Bill was like, "We can catch him on the roof." And he like sped out, and by the time we got there, the guy had like a knife to Bill's like throat essentially. And I had a choice to either reason with the burglar or take a shot at the burglar. And I tried to reason with him, and then it was like, after trying to reason with him twice, it was like, hey, you can let the burglar go. So I was like, you can leave, just let my partner go. You put your gun away. You don't try and take a shot. Because I was like, if I try and take a shot, I can guarantee you I'm going to hit Bill. I was like, I'm not doing that. And then Bill's like, what are you doing? Like, are you insane? And so the burglar like goes to leave, and like Bill grabs him, and then he shoves Bill off the roof, and Bill dies in the fall. And I was very upset. And I can't believe that the game would do this to me. Because I like Bill immensely. And I'm very sad he's dead. Yeah, rip Bill. Okay, we got some stuff. Okay, we have some things we can do. I'm gonna have to come back here. That's fine. So, we've left the police force. We are now doing like our own kind of like private thing. That's why we're looking a bit more scraggly. We're taking drugs to, like, essentially quiet Bill, who's in our head. Oh man, my Bandcamp. That's a long time since I've used that. I should really get rid of that. But it still has music I listen to. But I prefer the midnight by now. Okay. Let's go here first.
Egad! Is this someone's room or a jungle?
You went to Bandcamp
Quite a
once.
fascinating array of plants in here. Not to mention the machinery on the table.
Seems like Juliet is very interested in getting extra credit.
An actual Bandcamp? I never went to a Bandcamp.
wonder
I was
what
saying
sort of
I've
fertilizer
taken
or
violin
growth tonic
lessons.
these plants are getting. Whatever it is, it's definitely working.
Violin lessons, keyboard lessons. What do we got here?
That's quite the book collection. It almost puts Adelaide's to shame.
All impeccably cataloged and organized as well, which makes the 2 missing volumes stand out even more.
Those are the most vibrant flowers we've seen in a while. I bet they smell extra strong.
Yes, they certainly do.
Don't.
It's a good thing you're the one with the nose.
Don't do it.
This plant makes
Don't do
Miles
it.
Jr. look like a single blade of grass. They appear to be scientific scribblings. I can't make heads nor tails of them.
That makes 2 of us.
They appear to be...
That makes 2 of us.
Experiment desk. I'm gonna sneeze. Please hold.
They're just doing what flies do best.
They look like fruit flies. They're so tiny.
Just a bunch of technical nonsense. I can't understand a word of it.
Well now, this is interesting.
Hard to read, but plants thrive from exposure to small etheric currents. Further experiments are needed to determine the long-term effects. If animals with greater cognitive ability, including humans, are exposed to scientific quantities of ethericity, they will go into a stupor, appearing unresponsive or dead. Oh.
I have no idea nor desire to know what purpose that thing has.
Hey, Toast. Oh. 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 Nope. I want to stop it. I'm sorry. I regret everything. Okay. I'm doing okay, Toast. I'm doing okay. Yeah. I love that.
Oh, would you look at that? Oh, would...
Okay, so...
I have no idea.
Okay. Okay, so we have to go talk to her at the university. This is the room she's renting.
Huh. It's as though we've journeyed to the tropics. I don't know how you can stand to keep that coat on in here. Those flowers are definitely not native to this area. They seem to be thriving in their glass tubes, though.
Yeah, potentially. That's a rented room, yeah, to this girl, Juliet Montgomery. Her mother, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, Toast. It's a whole thing. Whole thing.
Pardon the disturbance, but are you Juliet Montgomery?
I am. And you are?
Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator looking into the events surrounding your mother's attempted murder.
Ah, of course.
Have you got time to answer some questions?
Yes, that shouldn't be a problem.
She doesn't seem terribly upset about the fact that the guy that she's supposedly in love with is, like, in jail for attempted murder. But okay. You like the greenhouse? Yeah.
Do you know anything about the events leading up to your mother's premature interment?
No, it was a complete shock. Mother seemed to be perfectly healthy and full of life. Then, without warning, she was dead. Or so we thought.
I take it you were glad to be wrong?
What a ridiculous question. Of course I was. What sort of heartless beast would celebrate their mother's death?
Oh, I could name a few. Juliet definitely didn't shed any tears over Madame Dupre, though. That much is obvious.
Yeah, she looked...
Miss Montgomery, you don't have to lie to me. I'm not going to assume you tried killing your mother just because you weren't upset by her death.
I felt terrible about it. You have to understand, I didn't want her to be dead. I just felt a sense of relief. Please, don't think me a horrible person, Mr. Fordham. It's just that Mother and I aren't currently on the best of terms.
Why don't you and your mother get along?
Because of Albert.
We've never completely seen eye to eye on anything.
Oh, okay.
She always disapproved of anything I did.
Fair.
When I was younger, she used to forbid me from speaking to the servants.
Oh,
I saw
God.
no harm in a kind word or smile, but she warned us that if we were too familiar, they would take liberties. Then when I declared my intentions to pursue academic studies, she really went livid.
Imagine.
In her opinion, a university education was tantamount to a chastity belt. What sort of man would want a wife with a head full of useless facts, she'd say.
Personally, I've always found intelligence to be quite attractive.
I assume your mother didn't approve of your involvement with Mr. Martin?
A rather forward question, Mr. Fordham. But you're not mistaken. I'm not sure how she managed to find out about Albert and me, but when she did, she nearly had a conniption.
I love that word,
As I'm sure you can
conniption.
understand, the situation at home has been less than perfect in the last few months. I'd really rather not dwell on it.
Well, this explains why I'm single. Lots of useless facts up here, let me tell you.
You mentioned you were friends with the servants.
Yes, that's right. I didn't care that they worked for us. Everyone needs a friend.
Did your mother ever mistreat them?
Mistreat? No, I wouldn't say so. She was always very stern, though, and quite cold. If they ever shirked their duties or misbehaved, they were punished, of course, but nothing
Of
out of
course.
the ordinary that I ever saw. Most of the servants are my friends, but I'm closest with Amelie, the kitchen maid. Mother wasn't too happy about that. Amelie's been around as long as I can remember. She's like the aunt I never had.
What can you tell me about Albert Martin?
I'm not quite sure where to begin.
Why not start by telling me what your relationship with him was?
We met here at the greenhouse. He was working as an assistant, sweeping and cleaning and fetching things for the students. My focus was on academics, naturally. I wasn't too interested in romance. In fact, I've had to turn away nearly every single one of my classmates.
Oh, okay.
But with Albert, I found myself intrigued.
It can
I
be
noticed
fun.
him stealing glances, lingering just a bit too long after bringing over a book or flask, sweeping the same patch of floor near me over and over again. It wasn't too long before I had him bringing me tools and equipment, regularly.
I see.
As I mentioned, Mother was an absolute terror when she found out.
Do you believe Mr. Martin did what he stands accused of?
I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't seem like him, but Albert can be quite passionate. If the police believe he's to blame, then they must have a reason for it. It wasn't any secret that he hated Mother. Perhaps I should have ended things sooner. It was satisfying to know that Mother was displeased, but I never imagined it would lead to something like this.
Well, it's nice to see she's all heart.
So, you study botany. Fascinating subject.
Sus.
Are you an admirer of plants, Mr. Fordham?
My wife has the green thumb in the household, but I do have a certain appreciation for them.
Plants are amazing things, just like people in many ways.
How do you mean?
They need attention and care. Ignore a plant, and it will wither. Give it too much attention, and it will
Excuse
become
me.
sick. Plants have many things to teach
I have
us,
the
and I
blackest
greatly
hit
enjoy
thumb in
learning from them.
history. I look at a plant. I can't have a plant, and I kill plants. It's not good.
Do you know anything about ethericity, Miss Montgomery?
You surprised me, Mr. Fordham. I had no idea someone of your profession would know or care about something like that.
I've found that it pays to be open-minded.
To answer your question, yes, I am familiar with the theory of ethericity. In fact, it's recently become a focus of my studies.
I just stopped getting them.
Despite what the newspapers have been
That way they
reporting,
live.
it's already possible to access it in small quantities from the air around us.
Have you conducted any experiments?
No, my research has been purely theoretical. I don't have the means to do anything practical, I'm afraid.
Lies.
Deceiver, dissembler, her trousers are alight. I can't understand why Juliet might not want to make her research public, though.
Miss Montgomery, please don't lie to me. I know you've been conducting experiments with ethericity. I've seen the room you're renting on Forest Lane.
What? But how?
I wouldn't be very good at my job if I didn't find things out, Miss Montgomery. Now please, drop the act and tell me about your experiments.
Fine.
Oops.
I've been researching etheric effects on living organisms. I'm planning on presenting my discoveries to the board once I make more progress. So far, I've managed to discover that plant growth is accelerated significantly. It's given me quite the advantage in class.
But isn't that cheating?
You have no idea how difficult it's been for me to be taken seriously, Mr. Fordham. No matter how hard I tried, my work wasn't valued on its own merits by my peers or professors. I fought hard to get where I am. I wasn't about to lose all that just because some pig-headed idiots didn't think my best was good enough.
That sounds awfully familiar.
What about your notes on the effects of ethericity on animals?
Oh, those aren't complete. I haven't tested the effects on anything larger than flies. Those experiments were mainly to satisfy my curiosity, but they have little to do with my actual research.
Curiosity? Seems like a lot of effort to go to just to answer a question. But then, I never really understood these scientific types.
What can you tell me about your brother?
Andrew, Mama's precious little boy. If you've met him, you pretty much know all you need to. He's had the whole world handed to him on a silver platter. But he's in for a rude awakening someday. Mother can only provide for him for so long.
No more questions for now.
Okay.
And if you don't mind, I have work to do.
There's a couple of sus things.
Quite the assortment of plants they keep in here. I wonder if they serve any purpose or are just meant to look pretty. One of those cute little Japanese trees that are all the rage these days. Personally, I don't see how giving a tree a haircut is meant to be relaxing. Judging from that pipe, that contraption must be used to keep the plants hydrated. But it looks like a giant earwax remover to me. I've never seen a flower grow that big. What do you suppose they're feeding them?
All right. So. Okay. We have to go back and probably speak to the kitchen maid, I reckon. But also, actually, let's do that now, and then we'll go to the graveyard. Hello, friend. I haven't found a thing to bring you out of your stupor yet. Hey. Again, it's me.
Pardon me, miss.
I told you I'm very busy, and I'll get in trouble if I'm caught speaking to you.
Amelie, please. I need to know what you know about Madame Dupre.
What? How did you know my name?
Juliet told me about you.
Miss Juliet?
Yes, I spoke to her at the university. She mentioned you two were friends.
Yes, that's right. She's always been so good to me.
Look, Amelie, I'm just trying to get some information. And I have a feeling you can be very helpful if you just let me talk to you.
All right, fine. But do it as fast as you can.
I'm having a really hard time not seeing him as the guy from Grimm now, like the actor.
Tell me about Madame Dupre.
Oh, I really shouldn't, sir.
It would greatly help my investigation if you did.
Madame Dupre was kind enough to hire me as her cook. It's hard to get jobs in the city. Lots of people want their servants to use those new machines. My sister's brother-in-law got half his leg blown off by one of those new ovens.
Oh, it's good.
He's lucky he wasn't killed.
Well, the first
So I'm plenty happy working here doing
seasons
real
are good.
people's work. But Madam can be difficult sometimes.
Difficult?
Oh, good,
What do you mean by
Crack-a-lackin'.
that?
Thanks for coming in.
No, I said enough.
I appreciate it.
What do you know about Madame Dupre's supposed death?
Have a
All
good
I can
rest of
tell
your
you is
night.
that whoever did it really hated her.
Do you know Albert Martin, the man accused of the crime?
No, I'm sorry.
What can you tell me about Andrew?
He ain't so bad. Kinda spoiled, but he mostly cleans up after himself. Has a whole private part of the house, but I think he only uses one room. Better for me, way less to clean.
I thought you were the cook.
What do you know about Juliet?
She was always so kind to me and the others, but her mother don't like that one bit. Still, she sneaks down into the kitchen to keep me company some nights. Even though she's a good soul, I think part of her does it just to spite her mother.
Episode or two and then you get bored. Yeah, no, Grimm was really good. Like I said, like 3 seasons, and then it started they got weird. Kind of got a bit weird.
Are you the only remaining servant here?
No, there's another one. Marcel. He's the new gardener. I haven't seen him in a few days, though. Not since before Madame's incident.
Thank you, Amelie. I appreciate your time.
Where's the gardener?
You're welcome. Now, please, let me get back to work.
Sure thing, sorry. Oh, really? Oh, geez, Prophet. Well, welcome back. Glad to see you back. Welcome back. How's things? Okay, so this is still a thing. Let's go to the cemetery. How you doing? You're good. Glad to hear it.
Ah, St. Denis Cemetery. Best view in the city. It's just a shame none of the residents can enjoy it. I think I'm buried around here somewhere. Wonder how the old gravestone is doing these days.
It's only been 3 months.
I don't know him. Must be a recent addition to the force. Well, at least he won't recognize you. Nice view of the river from up here. You can hardly even see the cloud of smog over the chum. Looks like people have left markings and offerings in front of this tomb. You may think it's a silly superstition, but I wish you'd leave a bottle of Bollingworth at my grave every now and then. The plaque says Harrison. Doesn't look very opulent, so I guess it doesn't belong to anyone important.
Okay.
This just goes to show you can't take it with you, so you might as well spend it all on a giant tomb.
I'm being cremated, but thank you.
Good day to you, officer.
Good day, sir. How may I be of assistance?
Sure is a nice day to be walking around the cemetery, wouldn't you agree?
I guess, if you're into that sort of thing. Personally, the noise those bugs are making is starting to drive me crazy.
Okay.
Would you mind letting me in the tomb, please?
Afraid I can't do that, sir. This tomb is currently part of a police investigation and ain't available for visits until further notice.
I'll just keep moving along.
Have a nice day, sir.
So the bugs are bothering him. Okay. All right.
All
Coffee
that
machine.
metal and tubing just to serve a hot cup of coffee?
Can I have a coffee machine? Or, can I have a coffee machine? I need a cup of coffee. Can I have a cup of coffee? Hi.
She's running back and forth at lightning speed. Clearly, she dips into the coffee supply.
Yeah, I need a cup of coffee. I need a coffee. See, we don't have inventory. So the stimulant, we have a coffee machine right here, but...
Simon Banks, professional chimney sweep. Services start at 2 coppers per hour. Inquire at 305 Merrick Lane. I'm sure he's a lovable urchin, but thankfully, your chimney is clean. Professor Xander Cold Tit III's emulsified soporific, available at all discerning pharmacies. I really don't know why you think taking that rat piss every night is a good idea for them. P.D. Preston's patented papier-mâché paramucat. Handsomely upholstered in silk, satin, or velvet, and hand-painted in the most artistic manner, as shown in engraving. I suppose if you and Adelaide ever finally decide to have children, something like this will come in handy. Green's Sulfur Soap. Beautifies the complexion and leaves you smelling fresh as a daisy. Talk about false advertising. I couldn't get a date for a week after using that stuff. Dr. Tennyson's Vigor Pills. Absolutely guaranteed to restore vitality, youth, and vigor or your money back. for use by men only. These things seem to have had a spike in popularity recently.
Is that like Viagra?
Dr. W.S. Sales Wonder Tonic, the best and safest medicine for both gentlemen and ladies. Prevents consumption, general weakness, feverishness, indigestion, constipation, diarrhea, loss of appetite, flatulence, and head pain.
Oh,
They
good
should
to know.
also mention that it prevents breathing, heartbeats, and being alive.
Okay.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
I wanted to go over the case with you.
Okay, what have you got?
I seem to have hit a roadblock. There's an officer posted at Dupre's family tomb, and he won't let me in.
Makes sense. Who's the officer?
I've never seen him before. He's young, has a small scar over his left eye, and a distinct Dixie accent.
Ah, yes, that would be Officer Grant. He's only been with the department for about 2 months. I don't know a lot about him, but he's already got the reputation for being the type of policeman who'd go out of his way to help old ladies cross the street.
Okay.
Typical Southern gentleman, it seems. Perhaps you can use that to your advantage?
Cool.
Madame Dupre's son isn't being very helpful.
Is she my
More
hint?
like incapable. The family doctor has him pretty well drugged to the gills. I need to find some way to perk him up.
Cup of coffee.
You know, we are in a coffee house.
I have a feeling it will take something a touch more powerful than coffee. That's enough about the case for now.
Okay.
That's it, I think.
Oh, okay,
Then
so
you'd better get back to it.
I can't use coffee. That's a shame. So I guess she's my, like, hint book, essentially? I don't know if that's right. I don't know if that's the right thing to say.
Welcome back, Mr. Fordham.
Thank you.
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
I think I need to ask her about the back room.
About that back room of yours.
I beg your pardon?
I don't know about this, Miles. Is this really a road you want to go down?
Actually, never mind. I misspoke. Thank you for your help.
My pleasure.
The fact that he's like, is this really a road you want to go down? I'm like, oh, I don't want to piss her off. Like, is there anything else I can maybe learn from here?
Could I ask you some more questions, Mr. Martin?
It's not like I'm going anywhere.
I mean, true.
Albert, did you hate Madame Dupre?
The woman is cruel, sadistic, and bigoted. When she found out about my relationship with Juliet, she sent me a letter threatening to have me killed if I got near her house or her daughter. So yes, Mr. Fordham, I hated her. But even so, I love her daughter. I wouldn't be so cruel as to take Juliet's mother away from her, even if she hated her too.
I beg your pardon?
Juliet and her mother didn't get along at all. I never asked why, but it was obvious there was something going on.
Intriguing.
Okay.
That's all for now.
Well, we kind of know that already anyway. Do another. Didn't push. Okay, guys, sorry, give me another 2 seconds. I just need to step away for a second. It's getting dark, and I need to close my windows, otherwise everyone can just see into my house, which I don't love. So just give me a second. I will be right back. Won't be long. I don't think these lights need to be quite this bright. Ooh. Is that still okay? Can I get away with that? Because that's so much easier on my eyes. It was very bright before. Oh. Alright. Okay, next. Moving on. Go home for a second.
Hello, dearest. I have returned.
Good to see you've made it back in one piece.
I know, right?
So what's this big case Upton's got you on? Another missing pet?
Hardly.
If only. A Gascon Grand Dame was attacked and almost interred alive.
You mean Madame Dupre? The one whose obituary was in the paper?
The very same.
Goodness, that does sound serious. Tell me if there's anything I can do to help. I know you haven't been feeling your best lately.
You're always a help to me, Addie. Though I assure you I have this well in hand.
I certainly hope so.
Do I?
It's been so long since...
I can't pick anything up here.
Your book collection is always astonishing.
Let's go through here. There's probably not anything I can get here, but let me check. Okay. Can I talk to her about it?
Addie?
Yes, dear?
Oh, she's so pretty.
How's work going? Do you have any appointments today?
Yes, one this evening. It's been a bit slow lately, but pretty soon it'll be debutante ball season, and all the Gascon Grand Dames will need their hair done. You sure I can't convince you to let me give you a little trim? You've been looking awfully scruffy lately.
What's the point? I've got no need to go peacocking around town. You're the only girl for me.
I like it when you're clean cut. It brings out your eyes.
The way my eyes have been looking lately, I think it's best to keep them hidden. How are you? It feels as though we haven't seen much of each other these past few days.
I've been fine.
Addie, you're not a very good liar. What's on your mind?
I'm worried about you, Miles.
I know, but I've told you there's no need to worry about me. I'm all right.
You're not all right, Miles. I may not be a good liar, but you can't fool me either.
I am all right. What do I have to do to convince you of that?
You could start by throwing out that sleeping medicine. It's turned you into a different person.
I need it to sleep, Addie. I'll become an even worse person without it, believe me.
I know Bill's death was hard for you. It was hard for all of us. But whatever it is that's bothering you, you know you can talk to me about it.
Bill
That's what
still
I'm here
talks
for.
to me in my brain.
Oh, my love. Your support means the world to me.
That's what's
I
bothering
need some time
me.
to deal with things. That's all. It won't always be like this, I promise.
Making promises you can't keep, eh, Miles? That'll end well.
I've still got that song you sang last week at the Rutherford stuck in my head. You were amazing.
Thank you, Miles. That was a lovely evening. I always enjoy it when Joseph brings out his violin and we can relive the old days.
Certainly nicer than when he spends hours telling the exact same story whenever you visit.
They were very glad to see you, you know.
It's probably the most fun I've had in months, to be honest.
They've invited us for dinner again in a couple of weeks, if you're feeling up to it.
I hope I am. What's that you're reading?
It's a collection of short stories by James Penstroke. It was just published earlier this month.
Any good?
Oh yes, I love his work. He's been publishing a new serial in Brentwell magazine. I can't wait to read it. Perhaps we both can together? I think you'd enjoy him.
Lately, I haven't been able to concentrate on a page for more than 5 minutes without nodding off.
That is a pity.
I have those moments in my reading, like I'll go through phases.
I was wondering if you could do me a favor.
What is it?
There's an officer posted in front of Madame Dupre's family tomb, and I need to get a look inside. Could you use your wiles and charm to distract him?
My wiles and charm,
Well, you are irresistible, darling. I'm sure he wouldn't turn away a lady in need.
Cute.
Say you've gotten lost in the cemetery and ask him to show you the way out.
Should we really be tricking a police officer like that?
There's no harm in it, and I won't be but a moment inside. It's in a good cause.
All right, let's go then.
Nice. I love that my wife helps me.
Excuse me, officer. I was wondering if you could help me?
What do you want?
I seem to have gotten all turned around. Do you have any idea how to get to the front gate?
My suggestion would be to turn around and head back the way you came.
Yes, I've tried that, but I seem to just be going in circles. Perhaps you could point me in the right direction?
Stop right there. That's quite enough from you.
Southern.
I beg your pardon?
Don't think I can't tell what your game is. You're trying to lure me away from here and into some alley where your gang of Sambos is gonna rob me blind.
He's Southern.
Exactly how many of them have you got lying in wait for poor unsuspecting fools you bring them?
Just one.
Oh!
And he doesn't appreciate you talking to his wife that way.
You know, Miles, sometimes I forget how absolutely delightful it is to watch you lose your head.
Miles, was that really necessary?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Addie. You know how I get with people whose minds are full of that rubbish.
Let's just get him out of sight before this lands both of us in jail. That bush over there should work.
I was about to say, I was like, oh, he's Southern, like
I have to
Southern
say,
gentleman, but
I wasn't
also,
expecting assaulting a policeman to be on today's
but also,
activity list.
he's
It'll
Southern.
be fine. When you're on the force as long as I was, you can pretty much get away with murder.
Well, it's been fun, but I need to take my wiles and charm over to my appointment with Mrs. Lefebvre. I'll see you at home later, dear. Try to stay out of trouble.
Your ass puts others to shame.
Thanks, Reagan. That's funny. That's really funny.
What a dramatic statue. I'm rather surprised no one has defaced it. That nest is full of eggs, but where's the mother bird?
Perhaps she abandoned it.
Always assuming the
Aw.
worst, aren't you, Miles?
Yeah, don't say that.
John Patrick Chesterton, 1740 to 1825. Patriarch, leader, family man. Desmond Chesterton, 1745 to 1810. Strong in life, stronger in death.
So wait, hold on.
John Patrick Chesterton.
1740, 1825.
Desmond Chesterton, 1745 to 1810. Strong
so
in
this is the
life,
brother?
stronger in death.
Yes, 100% Reagan.
Jane Scott Chesterton, 1746 to 1815. Ab Eterno. William Arthur Chesterton, 1770 to 1837. Gone but never forgotten. Celine, 1823 to 1844. Taken too soon, rest ye with the angels.
Yeah, that's young.
Sarah Chesterton, 1784 to 1812. I told you I was sick.
Also young.
Douglas Chesterton, 1791 to 1840. Good riddance.
Lol.
Dale Chesterton, 1795 to 1843. A good man. Rest in peace.
This must be what was going to be Madame Dupre's final resting place.
I don't see anything inside.
What, were you expecting a note from her attacker?
No, but I was hoping for some kind of clue at the very least.
How you feel right now? I have a fan. I put on a fan in here initially because the room was quite warm. It's been one of those days. It was like really, really muggy, but now that the rains have like kind of gone through, it's not so bad, but yeah.
These crypts are reserved for future generations of Chestertons to rot in.
There are only 3 left.
Then let's hope the Chestertons aren't opposed to spending eternity cozied up to one another.
Is this... That's not flowers, so I can't do anything with that.
I suppose the whole heaven shining down upon the tomb motif is good for the dead people's self-esteem.
Okay, I think I need to go look at those books. Brendo's not here. Let's go back to the Dupree Manor. She had books. The family. Can I now take a look at those books? Let's find out. I can't quite remember where those books were. Maybe down here. Yeah.
Doesn't appear to be very brief if there's 2 volumes of it.
Okay, so I can't do anything with this yet. Okay. Okay. Feel like there's something I'm supposed to be doing with the books, but I don't know what it is. Oh,
it looks
piece
as
of
though
paper.
this folded piece of paper is being used as a bookmark.
I missed that first time.
I hope remembering what page they were on wasn't too important.
Looks like it's a letter for Andrew.
Andrew, enclosed is the agreed-upon fee. I wouldn't be able to concentrate on exams without this help. Dr. Tennyson charges an obscene amount. Thank goodness for good people like you with home pharmacies. I'll look for them in the usual spot under the Weeping Angel. Joshua. P.S. Sorry to hear about your mother. I'll wait a few days before passing by. Oh.
The bottle is empty.
Okay. Okay. Hey, Maynard. How you doing? How's the things? How was the rest of your stream? I missed the last little bit. I came back to my computer and you had rated out and I was like, oh, okay. Aww. Cutie. Pretty chill. You were, I feel like you were very, very focused on the game. I don't know if it's because of the type of game or just because, like, you know, Doom you can do with your eyes shut, right? So it's like not as much work. I don't know. But yeah, I felt like you were very focused. Yeah, there were moments I was like, oh yeah, he's like, that's good. It was good. I've never played Risk of Rain. Don't really think it's my type of game, but...
What a dramatic statue. I'm rather surprised no one has defaced it. Hang on. You don't suppose this is... Surprise, surprise! A hidden compartment with a stash of pills inside. Seems Mr. Montgomery has a little business on the side.
That's fine. That's allowed. Alright, so I have vigor pills now. Alright. Back to the sun. Yeah, no, I know. It's 100% up your alley, I could tell that. And I've heard nothing but good things about Risk of Rain 2 in particular. Everyone's been, like, super, super positive about it. This feels like I'm making things worse. Maybe I do need to have it brighter. What was I doing? Right, Dupree Manor. Late to the party on it. I'm late to the party on a lot of games. You know what? It's fine. Also, fun fact. Oh yeah, this is great, Maynard. So this game is made by I know I've played one of their other games before and I loved it. And I was just about to say, so this actor, the voice actor does this particular character. He does my follow alert. So the guy that does the hello bright eyes does this voice totally different. It's great. Hey Rose,
I have some questions for you.
Oh, goody.
You'll never believe what I found in your family's tomb.
Oh? Was it a ghost?
No, it was these vigor pills. You wouldn't happen to know how they got there, would you?
I see you really are good at your job, aren't you, Mr. Fordham?
Does not sound like the same guy.
Look,
I love
Andrew,
it.
I'm in no mood for games.
Also, I don't know if you've ever watched Grimm, but this guy reminds me, if you wanted to turn this into like a TV show or a movie, this guy could easily be played by the main actor in Grimm. Just saying. I'm doing well, Rose. Doing well. I'm playing point and click. It's like my favorite thing. You know? I love my point and click. It makes me happy. Just be quiet and take one of these pills.
Just be quiet and take one of these pills.
I suppose one would help. Thank you.
Thank you.
My goodness, I always forget how fast those pills work. My heart is racing. You said you had questions, didn't you? Well, go on, ask them already. We mustn't waste any more time.
Well, that seems to have done the trick. I just hope we haven't doomed him to a heart attack.
He's fine. He's only had one. But yes, this is the same voice actor that does my Hello Bright Eyes follow alert.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
Crazy.
I can't believe anyone would be so cruel as to do what that wretched bastard Martin did to her. Mother is kind and generous, and everyone loves her. She's even good enough to hire actual people to do the housework. Not many wealthy families do that, you know. They just use automated machines or hire servants to operate the manual ones.
How do you typically spend your days, Mr. Montgomery? What are your interests?
I study pharmacology at the university. I'll be graduating next year if all goes well. I just hope Mother has recovered enough by then to understand what's going on. She and Jean were so proud of me when I started university. I'd be so disappointed if she couldn't see me finish.
Jean? I take it Jean is your stepfather.
He is. Mother married him 5 years after my father died of consumption.
My condolences. Do you have a good relationship with him?
Not terribly. Truth is, I hardly ever see him. In fact, before the funeral, I hadn't seen him at all this month.
Where is he now?
Yeah.
I don't know for certain, but it seems likely he's at his hunting cabin.
His hunting cabin?
Okay.
Yes. He often goes there. It's his way of leaving polite society behind and spending time with his thoughts. Considering what Mother just went through, well, I would guess that's where he's gone.
Okay, so somebody else.
I don't know why he's not here with Mother in her time of need.
Why do people run away from their problems instead of facing them? Why, Miles?
Do you know where this cabin is?
Afraid not. I don't share his passions, so I never cared much to accompany him on his outings.
In case you're wondering, for those of you who have come in and weren't here for the start of the game, the reason that you're hearing like a second voice, so you've got or third voice technically, you've got these two talking and then you've got the third voice that pops in. The third voice is Bill. Bill was our partner and he died very early on in the game and I was very upset and I could see it happening and I was very upset and I tried to choose the one that would not make him die, but it did not work. And so that's the third voice. He's like essentially our narrator in kind of effect.
What can you tell me about your sister, Juliet?
Juliet, smart as a whip and just as forgiving. She's a fighter, that one. Despite being the only woman in her class, she's managed to rank at the top.
Impressive.
I only wish Mother was more accepting of Juliet going to university. But you don't want to hear about boring family matters, I'm sure.
Stay hydrated.
Oh, but family matters are my favorite. It's always so reassuring to know how much worse off everyone else is.
What exactly were the circumstances leading up to your mother's supposed death?
A few days ago, I arrived home from school and found her collapsed on the floor. She wasn't breathing, so I immediately contacted Dr. Fellows. He examined her and pronounced her dead. We were all completely shocked. I was devastated.
Thank you for the stretch.
She'd been in fine health. In fact, she'd just been out riding that morning. You can imagine our surprise at the funeral when she sprang back to life.
I mean, did she spring? Because she's catatonic at the moment.
What's your relationship with the servants like?
Relationship? I don't have one with them. They're servants. Mother always made it clear that they weren't part of the family, just help. We've only got 2 on staff right now, though, the kitchen girl and the gardener.
I haven't found the gardener yet.
How is it you know Albert Martin?
He works at the greenhouse where my sister Juliet does her research. The 2 of them were involved romantically, and Mother didn't like that at all. I heard their fights. They were ghastly.
What exactly made you suspect he was the one responsible for what happened to your mother?
Well, I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? His mother's a notorious voodoo witch. Those people do all sorts of awful things to our kind. It's all out of spite, you know. He knew Mother disapproved of his relationship with Juliet, so he plotted to get rid of her.
Oh, Abe.
So, you're running some kind of pill business on the side.
I'm providing a service, Mr. Fordham. Not everyone in this life is as lucky as I am. People pay top crown for luxuries like airship tickets and social club memberships. Medicine should be affordable to all. Dr. Tennyson has a patent on the energy pill formula and thus a monopoly on the market. That means he can charge whatever he wants. Students use these kinds of pills all the time, you know. Academic rigors can be overwhelming, and concentrating can be difficult without help sometimes. I've got the skills and the equipment. If I can replicate the formula, help my fellow students, and sell them at a much more reasonable price, why shouldn't I?
There's the fact that what you're doing is illegal.
Oh, you're starting to sound just like Mother. And just because it's illegal doesn't mean it's immoral. I can think of plenty of examples where the opposite is true.
Very, very true.
Probably the most altruistic person I've met all month.
The sad part is it's true.
Yeah, it is true. 100%. I was watching a video about finances that Alan had sent to me, and the girl was talking about how she used Adderall to, like, basically, you know, work several jobs and study and do, like, the whole thing. I was like, I've never done anything like that. I'm pretty sure my body would just reject it. I would probably sleep. If you gave me pills to hype me up, I'd still end up sleeping. It would just mean that I would be talking faster than my brain could process things, and I wouldn't make any sense.
That's a rather exotic bird you've got.
Yes, Ray is nice when he's quiet. But get him started and it's tough to shut him up.
Who trained him?
I think he already knew some phrases when Mother bought him. She's managed to teach him a few new ones, though.
Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
Okay, so... something with the parrot?
Who's a pretty bird?
Ray's a pretty bird.
So long, birdie.
Bye-bye.
Okay. We need to find out where this hunting cabin is. See if the doctor knows.
Doctor, may I ask you a few questions?
Please, be my guest.
Tell me what you know about Jean Dupre.
I'd rather not speak of him. Madame Dupre does not need to be agitated any further.
I take it you don't look very favorably upon him, then.
I'll just say this. If my wife had been attacked and left for dead, you can be sure I wouldn't leave her side.
What a gentleman. He doesn't even leave women who aren't his wife.
I see what you mean. Do you know where I might find him?
I only wish I did.
Those are all the questions I've got for now.
I hope I answered them adequately.
You did, sir. Thank you. Okay, so we have to find out his hunting lodge location. Let's go university. And we'll see if she knows. See if Juliet knows the answer.
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
Is there anything you can tell me about your stepfather, Jean?
He's a kind man. I don't really see him too often. He seemed rather upset at Mother's funeral, but I can't help but wonder if he feels the same way as I do about her death.
What do you mean?
Just that I get the distinct impression that he and Mother's marriage isn't as perfect as they'd like it to appear.
I'm starting to sense a trend here.
Your brother told me that Jean enjoys hunting. Do you know where his cabin is?
Yes, it's in Fenton Swamp. I went out there with him a few times, but I didn't really enjoy it. Frankly, the place is rather grotesque. All those stuffed trophies staring at you with their cold, dead eyes.
Yeah.
Plants are much nicer to have around.
That's not fun.
Anyway, if you take the main road through the swamp, about 1.5 miles, you'll come upon a small dirt path that goes northeast. Take that until you see a small cabin on the left. That's it.
Thank you for the information, Miss Montgomery.
Perfect. All right, we'll...
No more questions for now.
Go
Then if you
there.
don't mind, I have work to do.
Because I don't think we need to do anything. It's actually, it's removed her, like, apartment, so good to know. Let's go to the hunting cabin. It's new information.
Hello? Is anyone here?
Oh, there's a gun missing.
Strange of Dupre to leave the door unlocked. Maybe it means he'll be returning soon.
Yeah, he's got a gun.
One of the guns is missing. Jean must be out using it currently.
Yeah.
It seems Mr. Dupre is a Bollingworth man. Maybe he's not so bad after all. Satchels, boxes, and other assorted boring things for hunting. I had a nasty run-in with an alligator when I was a child. One less in the world doesn't really bother me, to be honest. An absolute bore.
Oh.
Are these even native to New Britannia? Some high society type in the middle of a hunt. I don't understand why anyone would get a thrill out of murdering innocent creatures.
Neither.
You really have to wonder about someone who chooses to surround themselves with dead things.
Yeah, look at this, like even the bear.
Not a very dignified end for our friend Mr. Bear.
Cabinet?
Let's see if Jean has anything interesting in here.
Not very much, except a letter.
Dear Jean, thank you so much for your help. To think that Mother would try and have me withdrawn from my studies is just unbelievable. Don't worry, I won't tell her you made the university change their minds. One attempt to ruin a life is quite enough, Juliet. Oh. Oh.
Who the hell are you? What are you doing in my cabin?
Jean Dupre, I presume?
Yes, that's right. Who are you?
Miles Fordham, private investigator. I'm looking into the attempted murder of your wife.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. Forgive my rudeness, but you startled me.
I mean, fair.
Perfectly understandable, Mr. Dupre.
I was in his
This
house.
is a man whose bark is most definitely worse than his bite.
Can we talk, Mr. Dupre?
I suppose so. Yes.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
Oh, my dear wife. The past few days have been just awful for all of us.
Yes, I can imagine. How long have you been married?
For 7 wonderful years. Laura and I are just as much in love now as we were on the day we married.
X for
Does
doubt.
he actually expect anyone to believe that nonsense?
You'll pardon me for being so frank, Mr. Dupre, but why are you out hunting and not at your wife's side?
Excuse me? Who are you to lecture me on my marriage?
A fellow married man, that's who. Your wife has just suffered a very traumatic ordeal. Shouldn't you be at home caring for her?
But with all the confusion at the house, with the police investigating and her being attended to by her doctor, I just needed to get away for a bit. Surely you can understand, Mr. Fordham.
No.
There's something off about this guy, Miles. He's definitely hiding something. And for once, I don't think it's from his wife.
Do you know anything about the circumstances surrounding Madame Dupre's death?
Horrible. Simply horrible.
Do you have any idea why Mr. Martin might have attempted to kill her?
Mr. Martin? You mean the boys they arrested? Andrew said it's because Martin and his mother are witches who prey on the well-to-do.
Oh my god.
You only need to take one look at him to see his trouble. It's a shame they put him away so quickly. I'd have liked to teach him a lesson or two, believe you me.
Yeah, right. A lesson on how to cower in the corner, most likely.
I suppose it goes without saying that you enjoy hunting, Mr. Dupre?
Yes, I do. I consider myself something of an outdoorsman, you see. It's nice to be able to go out and get some fresh air after being sat at the bank all day.
Yeah, that's
What about
fair.
your home life?
Murdering animals,
Truth
though.
be told, I'm not at home as often as I'd like to be. I've been trying to make more time, but something usually comes up. Business is business, after all.
Yeah, but what business are we talking about here exactly?
What can you tell me about your stepchildren?
Andrew and Juliet? I see a bright future ahead for both of them.
What's your relationship with them like?
It's fine. Why do you ask?
I got the distinct impression from both of them that they hardly ever see you.
Well, yes, I suppose that is true. We don't spend much time together. But they're both so busy with school, I don't want to get in their way. Not to mention my job keeps me away from home for considerable periods of time.
Excuses, excuses. I get the feeling Mr. Dupre avoids his family on purpose. But why?
Do you know anything about Madame Dupre trying to get Juliet taken out of her classes at the university?
Ah, yes. Laura didn't approve of her daughter's desire to further her education. So, she sent a letter to the university requesting Juliet's withdrawal.
That's shocking.
I didn't approve of her trying to meddle in Juliet's affairs. If she wants to study, she should be free to do so. I wrote them a letter myself, without Laura's knowledge, telling them to disregard the previous request for withdrawal.
That's very good of you.
Yes, well, I dislike seeing people being told what they can and can't do by others.
Yet, he seems perfectly willing to employ servants at his home. Well, I suppose we're all hypocrites in one way or another.
I'll be going now.
Au revoir, Mr. Fordham.
Okay, so there's something else going on with him, but we don't know what it is yet. Gonna save that one. I don't think there was anything else for me to see here, but at least we have some information now about her trying to be like her mom trying to kick her out of university.
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
Did your mother try to get you withdrawn from the university?
As a matter of fact, she did. Just another one of the many ways she tried interfering with my life.
What happened, exactly?
Mother wrote the university requesting that I be withdrawn. I found out about it when the enrollment office contacted me. I couldn't believe it at first. I thought it was some sort of mistake, but then they showed me the letter.
I take it you were upset.
More than upset, Mr. Fordham. I was furious. I was trying to make a real life for myself. One that wasn't about dresses or debutante balls or fending off suitors. I'd been given the chance to make something of myself, and Mother was ready to bring it all crashing down, just because she didn't agree with it.
But in the end, you're still here.
Yes, Jean stepped in and fixed everything. He didn't have to do it, but it was very good of him.
Jeez
I'm
Louise.
afraid that was the beginning of the end of my relationship with Mother. We never really managed to fix things after that.
No more questions for now.
Okay.
And if you don't mind, I have work to do.
Alright, so that's...
Fordham, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Wait, what am I saying? Of course you are. Madame Dupre has been interfering with Juliet's studies and disapproved of her relationship with Martin, hence their falling out. Plus, the information in Juliet's notes about ethericity, putting animals into a death-like trance, seems awfully suspicious. It's enough to establish both means and motive. That's plenty to consider her a suspect.
I don't know if it's her though. That it feels too obvious. You know what I mean? Like it feels too obvious for it to be Juliet.
Welcome back, Mr. Fordham.
She's not gonna be much help right now. Best not to bother her.
Okay.
Nothing else to ask him right now. He hasn't got much time left. Best not to waste it.
Okay.
This quack hasn't got anything more for us to learn right now.
It's interesting that he it's like it tells you like there's, you know, you don't need to talk to this person. Don't bother.
As amusing as it is to chat with this oddball, I think we've exhausted his usefulness at the moment.
Okay.
Locked. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised.
There wasn't anything else.
A horrible little porcelain figurine. Madame Dupre didn't strike me as the type to play with dolls.
There's also something still in here with like this is like your main bit. There's the low C.
It must be a nice place to sit and listen to music. Why would anyone need so many flowers in one room?
Perhaps it's to mask the odors of those chemicals on the workstation.
Could be.
I think I've seen everything on the workstation.
The science of pharmacology. I'm sure it's riveting stuff.
Yeah, no, we've done everything there for the moment anyway. Let's double check with Amelia. Although I can't imagine.
Amelie?
Yes?
What
is it? We mustn't be seen talking.
Anything you can tell me about Jean?
I hardly ever see him. Only at dinner. He's scared of Madame, and so he finds any reason to get out of the house and stay away as long as he can.
Scared of her. Interesting.
Scared of her?
Oh, it's true. You should see him when they're in private. Like a shamed puppy that dirtied the carpet.
Interesting.
Do you have any idea why Jean is so afraid of Madame Dupre?
If he's seen the same things we have, then yes.
What kind of things?
No, I spoke out of turn. Forget I said anything.
Amelie, listen to me. A potentially innocent man's life is on the line. If I don't find out who attacked Madame Dupre, he's as good as dead. So if there are any facts or details you know that I don't, you need to tell me.
I can't.
You can. I'm not with the police. If Madame Dupre did something wrong, I'm not going to look the other way. Trust me, I'm on your side.
Madam beats the servants. I think she even does it for fun. I hear the screams sometimes. I don't know how anyone else in the family doesn't. Maybe they do and just ignore it. I don't know. But if Mr. Dupre knows what she do, it explains why he's so scared of her.
Did Madame Dupre ever abuse you?
No, I was lucky. But some of the others weren't.
Like who? I need details, Amelie.
The old gardener, Guy Dumas, and one of the maids, Celine. I saw Madame going after them the most. Don't know what they did to deserve it, but I would see her walk by in a rage, whip in one hand and a book in the other.
A book? What book?
Oh, I don't know. I can't read, so I don't know what it said on the cover. But it's the same color as the stew spice I always use. Don't know what she used it for, but she always had it with her, just before a beating.
Maybe she'd recite them some of her terrible poetry. I'm sure that was torture enough.
Alright, hold on. Back upstairs.
Tell me more about Guy and Celine.
They were deeply in love with each other. I used to hear them talk about how they wanted to run away together.
What happened to them?
I don't know. One day they were here, and then one day they weren't.
That's
you
not
think
good.
Madame Dupre may have done something to them?
I couldn't say for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if she had. Please, let's not talk about this anymore.
I mean, I don't blame her.
Thank you, Amelie. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Now please, let me get back to work.
God, that's terrifying. Okay, let's go up. Which one? This one had the books. It's that consequences one, I'll bet you anything. This one. Choice and consequence.
Well, this should be the book Amelie mentioned. Well, what have we here?
Oh, God.
A whip. And it has dried blood on it. How ghastly.
This house is just full of secrets, isn't it?
Well, that's horrific. Ugh, okay. Well, alright. Horrible, horrible secrets.
There are way more important things to concern ourselves with now than browsing Madame Dupre's book collection.
Alright. Okay. I don't suppose there's any point talking to the sun.
I have some questions for you.
All right.
Did you know Guy Dumas?
The old gardener? Sure, I knew him. We didn't talk very much. He was just a servant after all, but he seemed like a nice man. He stopped coming around about 2 months ago. Too bad, really. He did a good job of keeping the gardens looking nice. The new one is all right, but he just doesn't have that special touch Guy did.
Were you familiar with a servant named Celine?
Yes, I believe she was one of the maids. I didn't talk to her very much. Oh, she quit not so long ago. At least I assume she did. I haven't seen her in about 3 months.
Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
Maybe, Juliet would be able to tell us more. Because she was actually friends with the servants.
This quack has...
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
Do you know Guy Dumas?
Yes, he was one of our servants. He used to enjoy reading my books, as well as Andrew's.
When did you see him last?
Just last week, he came by to see me and asked to borrow some books.
Do you know where I might be able to find him?
Not really. I get the impression that he moves around frequently. But I can tell him you're looking for him next time I see him, if you like.
Please do. Although hopefully I'll be able to find him before then. Were you friends with Celine, the maid?
Yes, I was quite fond of Celine. She was so sweet and interesting to talk to. One day, she just left the house with no explanation. Mother said it was because she had found work elsewhere.
Yeah,
I was terribly saddened. I wish I'd had the chance to say goodbye to her, at least. What's your interest in her?
Oh, I was just curious, that's all. No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
Why do I feel like Celine is dead? At the minimum. Let's go have a word. Also, sorry, something just occurred to me. What was this name?
Douglas Chesterton, 7.
No.
William Arthur.
No.
Sarah Chesterton. Celine, 1823 to 1844. Taken too soon. Rest ye with the angels.
You don't suppose...
Nah.
Nah?
Celine. Nah.
I don't know. There's no last name on it.
Looks like people have left markings and offerings in front of this tomb. You may think it's a silly superstition, but I wish you'd leave a bottle of Bollingworth at my grave every now and then.
Yeah, I reckon Celine didn't make it out. Let's have a word.
Welcome back, Mr. Fordham.
She's not gonna be...
But we have the bloody whip, and she does, like, voodoo thingamajiggers.
Nothing else?
Oh, no, we need to talk to him, my bad.
Oh, Mr. Fordham, you're back.
Yes. I need to ask you about the
Can we
whip.
talk, Mr. Dupre?
I suppose so. Yes.
Do you fear your wife, Mr. Dupre?
Do I... what?
The question's quite simple. Are you afraid of Madame Dupre?
Why in the East would you think that?
I'd be afraid of someone who kept a bloody whip in my bedroom. Care to explain that?
I... You don't know her like I do. No one does. Well, no one aside from the servants, I suppose. She's cruel, Mr. Fordham. Crueler than anyone or anything I've ever seen.
Tell me more about Madame Dupre's cruelty.
She treats the servants like animals, Mr. Fordham. She would say the most vile, awful things to them. Things I would expect to hear on the Gascon docks, not from the lips of a grande dame. And the beatings. Oh, God. The screams I would hear from somewhere in the house. I never dared find out where.
Nobody else ever heard the screaming?
No. She was cunning. She would do it when no one else was around. Once she knew I had heard, she threatened me. Told me she would...
Yes?
She threatened to expose my secret, Mr. Fordham.
And what secret is that?
Our marriage is one of convenience. It's all for show. Laura has herself a well-to-do husband, and I am a normal man in the eyes of society.
He's gay?
I see. I suppose that would explain a few things.
Well, now, how was that not obvious to you? The soporific is really having a bad effect on you.
Don't worry, Mr. Dupre. Your secret's safe with me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Fordham.
Tell me what you know about Guy Dumas and Celine.
Celine had an accident.
What kind of accident?
Yeah, right.
Laura thought Celine had been stealing her silverware. She got a bit carried away with a beating, and...
Dupre killed Celine?
Yes, she did.
Oh,
in order to keep it quiet, she had Celine placed in our family tomb.
I see. What about Guy?
I don't know. I never saw him again after that.
Well, this case has certainly taken a turn for the sinister.
No kidding.
I'll be going now.
Au revoir, Mr. Fordham.
Ugh. Wow.
Celine, 1823 to 1844. Taken too soon. Rest ye with the angels.
Wait a minute. This is Celine, the maid.
Yep. Oh.
Somehow a piece of paper got wedged into the side of the vault.
Use tweezers on the paper.
Carefully now.
Oh.
Got it. Nice work, Fordham. Now to see what this is.
She will pay for what she did to you, my
Leaving
love.
notes for the dead. How very touching. I wonder if anyone has left me one at my grave.
Quiet, Bill. I need to think. We know this note is likely from Guy. Now we just need to figure out where to find him.
Is there anything on the other side of that piece of paper?
Bill, you're a genius.
I wouldn't give me all the credit just yet.
Let's see. A receipt for an extended stay at the Stun Arms. Does that sound familiar at all?
Vaguely. But I can't recall anything off the top of my head.
Looks like we'll have to do a bit more searching.
Oh, so upsetting. So upsetting. So upsetting. Ugh. It's actually made me feel a bit sick. Yeah. Ugh. Where? Hold on.
Welcome back, Mr. Fordham.
She's not.
No, she's gonna do a seance or something at some point. I know she will. Let's go to the coffee house to see if she can help me.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
I wanted to go over the case with you.
Oh, you can wrap up the case.
I found this note in the Chesterton tomb. I think it was left by the person who attacked Madame Dupre.
Nice work. Sounds like you're about ready to wrap things up.
I will be as soon as I find him. Take a look at the other side of it.
Part of a receipt for a hotel?
Yes, but the name is only partially visible at the bottom.
Stun Arms. The only hotel that comes to mind is the Boston Arms in Chumley.
Of course! I knew the name sounded familiar. The stories I could tell you about that place. Not right now, of course.
You're helpful as always, Upton. Thank you.
Good luck, Fordham. I hope you find your suspect.
Are we really
That's enough
gonna
about the case for now.
blame this guy?
That's it, I think.
Then you'd better get back to it.
I don't want to. Like, I don't want the guy to, like, the innocent. I don't want Martin to go, like, to die for somebody else's crime, but also, I really don't feel like this guy deserves.
Who is it?
Mr. Dumas, listen to me. I don't want to make this into more of an issue than it should be, but I believe it's in your best interest to let me in so I can speak with you.
Just a moment.
I'm Miles Fordham, a private investigator. It's extremely important I speak with you, Mr. Dumas.
What do you want?
Just to talk. May I come in?
Yes, I suppose so.
I found your note in St. Denis Cemetery. Care to explain what it means?
How did you...
I'm a private investigator, Mr. Dumas. That's what I do. Now we can either do this the easy way or the hard way. It's up to you.
I left that note for Celine. I didn't think anyone would ever find it.
So it was you who attacked Madame Dupre?
Yes. Yes, it was me. I confess.
I can't remember the last time a suspect actually confessed. If only they were all like this.
But please, Mr. Fordham, you have to understand. The woman is evil. If only you knew what she did. Please, don't arrest me, Mr. Fordham. You have to know the truth about Madame Dupre.
Relax, Mr. Dumas. I'm not going to arrest you just yet. I'm perfectly willing to hear your side of the story. Now let's take this nice and slow.
Okay, so...
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
She seemed like a nice woman at first, but after working for her, I came to know how awful she truly was. When no one was around, she would beat me and some of the other servants for fun, say the most cruel things, call us horrible names.
Why didn't you just leave?
She threatened us, told us she would make it impossible for us to get work anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's already difficult enough getting a job that doesn't force you to operate those awful machines. To be blacklisted by Madame Dupre would have been the final nail in the coffin.
Horrible.
How did you come to be employed by Madame Dupre?
I used to work in an iron factory in Chumley, but a few years ago, they brought in some steam machines to help production. One of the machines had a problem, and my friend Connor and I were assigned to fix it. We had no idea what we were doing, but we wanted to keep our jobs. I don't know what happened, but the next thing I knew, Connor was dead, and I was badly hurt. I swore never to go near one of those machines again. After I got better, I spent a few months looking for work, but it was impossible to find any jobs that didn't involve steam tech. Then I found out about Madame Dupre. Working at her home seemed like an improvement. I had a decent bed to sleep in. The work was not difficult, and I even made friends with her daughter. But Madame Dupre soon showed her true nature.
So upsetting.
Tell me about Celine.
Oh, my dear Celine. She was the most beautiful thing I ever saw. We were going to get married, you know. Then that devil killed her. She beat her to death in front of me. I was powerless to do anything. Please, Mr. Fordham, I don't want to remember. Let us speak of something else.
Do you know Albert Martin?
No. Who is that?
He's Juliet's lover, falsely accused of the crime you committed.
I had no idea.
Are you going to let an innocent man die because of what you did?
No, of course not. I suppose things got out of hand. It was not my intention for someone else to take the blame for my actions.
Can I confirm, though? Yeah.
So why did you attack Madame Dupre in the way you did?
I knew that if I went to her home and killed her, I would be caught and thrown in jail. I needed to find a way to do it quietly and not make anyone suspicious. Also, I wanted her to suffer for what she did to my Celine. I had read about toxic plants in Juliet's schoolbooks, and I knew a bit about them from working as a gardener. So I decided to poison Dupre and make her appear dead so she could be buried alive and suffer the same way she made us when she would lock us away in her secret room.
Yeah, where's the secret room?
Did you say secret room?
Yes, Mr. Fordham. It was no bigger than a coffin. She would place us inside if she was especially mad at us, with no food or water, sometimes for days at a time.
God.
We couldn't scream because she would stuff our mouths. She would also plug our ears and cover our faces.
How often did she put you in there?
Only a few times, but that was more than enough. I'd rather not think about it.
Once is too many.
So you have no idea where it is?
None. I only remember Madame Dupre would say the same thing any time she was about to put someone in there. A perfect servant must behave. I've told you everything, Mr. Fordham. Are you still going to arrest me?
I haven't quite decided yet, Mr. Dumas. If I can find this secret room, it would be enough to charge Madame Dupre with a crime. However, if you haven't been telling me the truth...
I have been, Mr. Fordham. I swear
yeah,
it.
I don't
even make
doubt
you a
him.
Deal. If you promise me you'll try to find the secret room, I won't leave this hotel.
All right, Dumas, it's a deal.
Well, at least now we can go straight to Upton and have him taken in. Unless you really do believe him about the secret room.
We're gonna go looking 100% for this secret room.
That's all for right now, but I'll be back.
Yes, Mr. Fordham. I'll be here.
Oh, good lord.
There's one thing I can't stand. It's crooked paintings. It appears someone is due for 7 years of bad luck. Seems to be what passes for a dresser around here. Either that or Dumas is secretly a pirate.
Okay, back to... Let me see if he can tell me where the secret room is.
Oh, Mr. Fordham, you're back.
We haven't got anything else.
Okay, so no. So we just have to go and find this room. Okay, so... Dupree Manor.
This fountain probably looked nicer when it was working. But right now, it's just a breeding ground for mosquitoes. Her eyes are glazed over. If we didn't know she...
It's gotta be in the house. Right? Does the parrot know something?
A perfect servant must behave.
And now you'll taste an early grave. Me sofa, Ray. In the middle, see?
So long, Birdie.
Bye-bye.
The sofa. Okay. There's a sofa in the room. I hate to say it, but I knew to ask the parrot because of Indiana Jones: The Fate of Atlantis. The parrot helps you solve a riddle, solve a puzzle as well. It's a thing.
Nothing.
Damn that bird. What the hell was he babbling about?
In the middle.
Nothing.
Damn that bird. What the hell was he babbling about?
My sofa. Oh, it's the one Andrew's sitting on. Wait. No, there's another sofa here. Sofa?
There's nothing here.
That beast better not have misled us, or he'll be roasting on a spit for sure.
It's the one Andrew's sitting on. It's gotta be. There's no sofa in here. It's gotta be the one Andrew's actually sitting on.
As amusing as it is...
Yeah, but he's sitting on a sofa. Hold on, let's ask him again.
A perfect servant must behave.
And now you'll taste an early grave. Me sofa, Ray. In the middle, see?
So long, Birdie.
Bye-bye.
Sofa, Ray, in the middle, see?
Dupre looks like she's holding on to that poor bastard for dear life.
There's no sofa. Oh. No, because she wouldn't have taken them out of the house. Right? Only thing is in here is a chest, but
Locked. I suppose.
there's no way it would be out of the house if it's a secret room.
There are way more important things to... A much younger Madame Dupre. That's an old uniform, from the turn of the century by the look of it. This must be Madame Dupre's first husband. You've got some heat.
Don't remind.
It's gotta be...
Nothing.
Damn that bird! What?
Maybe she did take them out of the house.
Uh-huh.
Oh, there's drawers. I didn't even
This is
see the
always my
drawers.
favorite part of detective work.
Nothing inside but a bunch of extra doilies.
How disappointing. Maybe you should steal one, just to spite Madame Dupre for not giving us any good clues.
No, Bill.
You're no fun, Miles.
My sofa, Ray, the middle C. Isn't that what he says? Hold on. Please hold. One more time.
A perfect...
And now you'll take me sofa, Ray.
Oh.
Middle, see?
Me so fa ray. Me so fa ray. In the middle C. And then the middle C. Hold on.
So long.
Me so fa ray. So play on words, my bad. So that's C. D. D. Me. So. Fa. Ray.
That seems to have done something.
Dear God!
This does not look good. He's dead. You should inform Dr. Fellows about this right away.
It seems
Holy
Guy
shit.
was telling the truth after all.
Yes, it would probably be a good idea to let him know of this development.
Well, that's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
Guy? Yes?
I found the secret room you told me about.
You see? I wasn't lying.
No, you certainly weren't. There was someone inside, a man.
No. Who?
I'm not sure, but I can only assume it was one of Madame Dupre's servants.
Was he all right?
No.
I'm afraid not. He was dead. Dr. Fellows confirmed it was due to asphyxiation.
Madame Dupre must have put him in there before I drugged her. And then, with everything that's happened, she didn't let him out in time. Oh my god. It's my fault he's dead. If only I'd known.
The circumstances are quite unfortunate, Mr. Dumas. However, this has shed a new light on Madame Dupre and her cruel practices. I can't say for certain that you were justified in your actions, but I am a bit reluctant to say you were completely at fault.
Yeah.
The bottom fact is that Mr. Martin has been falsely accused of this crime. If I were to let you go, he would be punished in your place. Unless...
Yes?
I'm going to need you to write me a letter, Mr. Dumas.
Of course, Mr. Fordham. Anything to take care of this mess.
Damn.
Good. Hopefully now this whole grim affair can be brought to an end. That's all for right now, but I'll be back.
Yes, Mr. Fordham. I'll be here.
Terrifying. Horrible. Can I talk to anyone else?
Oh, Mr. Fordham, you're back.
Yeah.
We haven't got anything.
No, okay. I think this is... We just go back to here, I think.
Nothing else.
Okay. I was just checking. And then I think I need to stop because my eyes are getting very tired. This is really good though, I'm enjoying it. I mean, horrifying, but
Go on, I'm
good.
listening.
I think I'm ready to wrap this case up.
Okay, who's your prime suspect?
It was Guy Dumas, a former servant at Dupre Manor. He used toxic plants to drug Madame Dupre so she appeared dead, which he learned about from her daughter's schoolbooks.
What was his motive?
That's the thing. I've learned that Madame Dupre is extremely cruel to her servants. She regularly beats them, and even has a secret room no bigger than a coffin where she places them as punishment. I discovered this secret room and found a dead servant inside. He had died from asphyxiation.
My God.
A few months ago, Madame Dupre beat Guy's lover Celine to death. He wanted revenge and intended to make Madame Dupre suffer the trauma of being interred alive.
I see.
Constance, I don't think Dumas should be arrested for his crime. He doesn't deserve it. Madame Dupre, however...
Yes, I see what you're saying, and I agree, but what about Mr. Martin?
I got a signed confession from Mr. Dumas. You can see the handwriting matches this note I found in the cemetery. That should be enough to release Mr. Martin, as well as giving Guy a head start in his escape from the city.
It's gonna be tricky getting the department to look into this, but with the proof you've gathered, it should work. Excellent investigating, Fordham. I knew you still had it in you.
100% acquit.
And of course, I'll dip into the department's Good Samaritan fund to get you proper compensation for your work.
Oh,
For now,
thanks.
go home to your wife. I'm sure I'll have something else for you to look into fairly soon.
Good evening. I'm looking for Madame Laura Dupre.
This is Madame Dupre. I am her personal physician, Dr. Fellows. May we help you, officer?
I'm afraid I must place Madame Dupre under arrest.
What? On what charge?
Several, actually. Manslaughter, domestic violence, murder in the second degree. Shall I go on, or can we continue this at the police station?
You won't have to worry about Madame Dupre anymore. She'll be in jail for a very long time. And Mr. Martin has been released with a full pardon as well.
Thank you, Mr. Fordham. I appreciate your help and your trust.
Think nothing of it, but you'll need to leave town as soon as you can. Have you made plans?
I was thinking of heading south. New Britannia is too cold and dark. I want to find someplace more like my home.
Well, I wish you the best of luck, Mr.
I'm not sure
Dumas.
going south is a good idea.
Addie, I'm home. Addie?
She must still be out at her hairdressing appointment. I'm glad we're alone because I wanted to talk to you about something.
Yes, Bill, I know. I told you I'm doing my best to try and find the flower shop burglar.
No, for once, this isn't about him. This is about you.
You want to talk about me? What about me?
You can play dumb and deflect all you like with everyone else around you, but it won't work with me. I know exactly what you're thinking, and you know exactly what I'm gonna say.
You want to talk about me finding the burglar from the flower shop?
I just said not right at this moment. Don't you listen? Have you already forgotten the old days, Miles? Before I died, we were solving cases like nobody's business. You were one of the best detectives on the force. But ever since you started taking that soporific, your mind hasn't been as sharp as before. If you're serious about taking on more complex cases, you need to listen to Adelaide and stop taking it. It's already had a negative effect on your performance.
What are you talking about? We were able to discover the truth about Madame Dupre.
Yes, but if you were working at your full abilities, you'd have come to that conclusion much sooner.
If I stop taking it, you won't let me sleep through the night. Nothing will change.
Well, things would change if you found you-know-who.
I thought you said we weren't going to talk about that right now.
Yeah, well, I say a lot of things.
An understatement if ever there was one. Can't you just keep quiet without me having to take something?
Afraid not, old friend. That's just not who I am or how this works.
If you keep me up all night, I'll go crazy. Things have been hard enough as it is. And if, God forbid, Adelaide were ever to find out about...
Hello, Miles. Is there someone else here? I thought I heard you talking just now.
Fantastic. The jig is up. And here I thought we were doing so well, too.
No, I was just going over the case. Thinking aloud, you see.
Ah, of course.
How was your appointment?
Mrs. Lefebvre was her usual bossy and overly picky self, but she gave me a very generous tip.
That's good.
So I stopped by the shop on the way home and bought a new deck of cards.
Excellent. Shall we have a few rounds of écarté? I believe you demanded a rematch last time we played.
Yes, that would be nice.
Well, you certainly managed to dodge that bullet. I only wonder how much longer you'll manage before one finally hits you.
So I guess that's case number 1. 2 weeks later. Okay.
And it says here they still don't know what caused that explosion.
I guarantee you it was sabotage. Those Redites have been causing a lot of trouble lately.
Is that the group of anti-steam tech radicals?
The very same.
Why Redites, though?
They're named after some fellow named Jonathan Red. Apparently the one who began the whole anti-steam movement. It's really a rather stupid name, if you ask me. And uncreative, to boot.
Well, what would you call them, then?
Something more evocative, like the Boom Boom Boys.
Definitely gets to the point, I'll give you that. Perhaps you'd best stick with the detecting, dearest. Your nomenclature needs a bit of work.
Well, I think it's about time I get ready for bed.
All right, Miles, if you must.
He's still obviously still taking the stuff. I'm going to... Hold on. I'm going to save second case. And I'm going to quit here. For the moment. It's good. That's really good. Damn, that story got me. That was horrible, though. That was horrible. Alright. Do this. Do this. Put this on. Alright. Alright. Cool. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm gonna play that more. I'm going to be, playing more of this. So, fair warning. Play more over the weekend. I don't know exactly what time I'll be on tomorrow. It might be early. I'm meeting up with a friend later on in the afternoon, but oh my god. Jax! No! Jack, I'm finishing. I'm done. Jack. Jack. I'm done. I'm done. I was finishing. Thank you for the raid. But I was going to bed. Actually, it gives me a chance to try this out though. Hold on. Is it working? No, dark and darker. Interesting. Interesting. Jax, I was finishing. I was finishing. Thank you for bringing your people over. To those of you who've come in from Jack's stream, hi, I'm Robin, and I'm finishing stream. Because we just did a story from the game we were playing, a case from the story we were playing, from the game we were playing, and it was very intense. And it was a lot. Yeah, sorry, AJ. Yeah. It's, the game that I'm playing is great, but it's intense and I'm tired. So, hi! You made cheesecake? Yum. Are you sending me a piece? It's like, wait, what kind of cheesecake? The like more, the New York? Or the continental? Peanut butter baked. Ooh. That sounds very rich. Yeah, sadly, I'm finishing up. It's not? Really? It's really light. No, you're gonna have to teach. I'll have to go back and watch your VOD. Because my brain's just like, ow. How does that work? Interesting. I don't need cheesecake though, I already have 5 chins. I don't need to add to that. I've already got 5 chins. When I go down a couple of chins, I'll do it. You're wrecked, yeah. It's fine. I'm finishing up because I'm sleepy too. But thank you for coming over and saying hi. Go to bed. Go to bed. I'm gonna find somewhere else to take people. I will find somewhere else to place them. But yes. Great game. Lamplight City. Highly recommend. So good. Excellent. Really good. Great game. Loving it. Going to be playing more tomorrow. Just not sure what time yet. But definitely playing more tomorrow. What do we got? Who's on? I can take you to Apex. What else have we got? Who else have we got? Who's on? Super Mario RPG. I can take you over to Steph. She usually doesn't go for too much longer though. I reckon she's probably finishing soon. I don't know. She's at 5 hours. Yeah, we'll take you over to Steph. She might take you somewhere else again. Is what is. Is what is. Alright. We will finish this up. Let me put the raid on. Yeah, because I'm super sleepy now. Happens when you get woken up at 5 a.m. There she is. She's doing some Super Mario RPG. So, you know, why not? Alright, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Jack, thank you for bringing your people over, even if it was just to see my finishing screen. I will be back for tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow with more Lamplight City. I'm loving it. But man, that case was rough. Yeah. That was rough. Anyway, I'm going, we're gonna put this song on this much. This is my favorite song. All right. I will see you all in your office chair. No, don't sleep in your office chair. And yes, I hope I do sleep better than that. I have no doubt that I will be up again tomorrow morning at 5, 6 o'clock, as per usual, but I can tell I'll sleep well. My eyes are tired. I can only assume that that means I'll sleep well. But thank you for coming in and thank you for saying hi. I appreciate it.
Hello, Right Eyes.
Thank you for the follow. Yeah, more tomorrow. And more on Sunday. Sunday's probably closer to 2 p.m. start. Tomorrow, I'm not sure. It'll be earlier, but we'll see how we go. Until then, have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And maybe I'll see you around for more variety and weird point-and-click games.